Racer, I'm joined today by the incredible Toldismar. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing mighty fine. How are you yourself?
You know what? I am doing mighty fine as well. Thank you very much for asking. I'm looking forward to today. It's our first episode for the Benelux League Season 6 with the group stages coming up shortly. Toldismar, I figured, you know what? Fuck it. Let's sit down, let's have a wee chat, let's talk about the here and now. And what better way of talking about the Benelux League than, well, someone whose face is quite literally plastered all over the building. Toldismar, you're one of the casters currently affiliated with Rainbow Six Benelux and Ubisoft, Netherlands, and all of that jazz. For anyone coming in, can you just explain who are you, what do you do, what are you doing here?
Well, I've been casting Rainbow Six for quite some years now. I'll actually check my Wikipedia page real quick because I don't know since when. I never know. I always forget.
Yep, same.
First
That's
cast
why I like
went
Wikipedia.
great. Just a little backstory for all y'all. I sat down there next to Milan. God bless Milan, who is now in different companies. And I sat down next to him and I was like, yeah, I just had a week full of exams. How many rounds do they need to win? And they looked at me like, oh god, what is happening? What is this guy even? And he said 5, and I'm like, okay, well. And then he was happy, so I did every Rainbow Six casting event for the Benelux after. And after a while, he also took us in for Challenger League. I took in Hap under my wings, and we've gone to great lengths from there.
So what you're telling me is before your very first broadcast, you had to ask what the rules were.
Yeah.
How? How did you get
Yeah, that's a
in
good
that
clickbait
position?
title. Now, like, the week before, it was at
Okay.
the ESL Benelux Studios, with whom Ubisoft Benelux did a lot of business in the start for their productions and stuff, because it was
Yep.
easy and it worked well. And the week before that Rainbow Six event, I'll just check which one it was. I think it was the Go for Benelux Quarterly 1 2017. So that's 4 years ago already. Jesus, I'm old.
You are old.
Yeah, I am old. Like,
I
one of
don't
the
think I even had a
producers.
beard back then.
I didn't because I think I shaved it back then. But
Yeah, you did. You were like clean shaven, little Babby told us, man.
I was so cute back then. Like, I looked so
Um,
young, and I
what,
didn't have that
what, what
receding
went
hairline.
wrong?
Receding hairline, laziness kicking in, it's everything.
Oh,
But no, like, there was a Counter-Strike event the week before, and Milan asked the producer, like, do you know anyone who could cast Rainbow Six? I just need a play-by-play. So, well, then they reached out to me because I did play-by-play with the Counter-Strike thing as well. And it's like, oh, can you come? And like, yes, sure, but I don't have much time to prepare because I have my exams. And I'm like, sure, whatever. As long as you can play-by-play, it's no problem. So I
yeah.
actually typed out like 2 full pages of things I could talk about because I figured, oh, let's at least have some things that I could ask or at least
Mm-hmm.
put to the table. Did not expect all that downtime with the prep phase and stuff like that, so I was out of those 2 pages within a match.
Yep, that'll happen. You know what? One of the biggest things I remember when I first started casting, I would like write down notes and notes and notes and notes, mountains of information about the teams. Nowadays, we just go onto a break and we're like, "Hey, you've got a really cute puppy. Do you want to show the puppy, Silver?" You just bring up Joy every now and then. I wonder, actually, I gotta throw our producer in at the deep end here. I wonder, can we get a photo of Joy, Silver's puppy? You probably have it somewhere. I'm assuming he's probably got it somewhere. I wonder if we can see that.
It's
Um,
probably his wallpaper, right?
Honestly, yeah. Have you seen her? She's so
Yeah.
cute. She's so small. I remember one time we were casting actually, and then he just went quiet all of a sudden. I'm sitting there going, Silver, are you there? Egg just dropped out of Discord, and I'm like, okay, we'll carry on. We'll just carry on without him for a minute. A couple of minutes later, comes back. I am so sorry. My dog ate my LAN cable.
Oh. But like that's bad. Like, that's something you're like, ah, oh, cute dog, it happens. I once
Yeah.
had a show, and like the game was live. It was for
Yeah.
Counter-Strike, and like, game live, game live. Okay, we started casting, and suddenly game not live. Something happened. Producer, he's gone, or at least the game feed was gone. I'm like, what
Yeah.
happened? And like Erwin, who's still doing the production for us now, he had a separate observer there, and like that observer just kicked out the power cable with his foot, and
Oh
then didn't
no.
know how to fix it. So Aaron had to like get under the desk and plug it back in and try to fix it. But we missed like 3 rounds in total. It was terrible. It was the most
Oh no.
beautiful moment happening, but it was also so bad.
I've always noticed that, like, some of the best rounds are also the ones that, for some fucking reason, just something goes wrong. Like, the producer's gone AFK, you know, our observer's MIA, you know, the world's on fire, and there's just this beautiful, like, quad kill going down, and it's picture perfect. It's like John Wick having a baby with, like, Grogu from The Mandalorian, and it's just like, how the fuck do you screw that up? But that's just broadcasts, right? Like,
Well, the Benelux has had some great things, like our Rainbow Six things, all perfect, just perfect as this small doge. But
look how
there
fluffy
was
she
one
is.
a show, I think it was League of Legends,
Yeah.
and there was that the host of the desk, he just stood up like after a while, like, and then he just walked away, never to be seen again. Apparently, he had to go to the toilet real bad, and he just walked off the desk. Those people like analyzed, they were like, I guess I'll just keep talking. And they were so
Like, they're
clueless.
not sure what's going on because they don't get told that.
They were like the dog here, like, I don't know what's happening, but
Rate,
whatever.
okay. What would you rate Joy's puppy out of 10? Because I would say
Uh,
a solid 14 out of 10.
oh,
The only reason it's not a 15 out of 10 is because she fucking stole my co-caster away from me more times than I care to admit. Because she's got to go fucking potty.
well, like in this picture, I'd give it 11 out of 10 because still cute, but I'm missing part of the dog. So
Do
that might
we-
also,
Okay.
yeah. Oh,
Who's this?
those are very small puppers. I think he had like
Silver
little
puppies?
babies. Yeah,
Little small. They're
very small.
tiny! Oh!
Uh,
I love this.
I love puppies.
My
Just want to pet
dad's
them.
getting my dad's getting a cat over the next few weeks.
That's not a
Called
puppy,
Casper.
Fraser.
It's not a puppy, no, but it's something better. It's a cat. It's a poor wee kitten.
I'm slightly allergic to cats, so I dare to differ. But I do have one of my best friends. I walk with him weekly because we try to be healthy, and that's if it rains, we stay inside. But he has got 2 kittens, and they're absolutely adorable. And like they just want to be held, just like this, but then different. And they want to be pet. It's amazing.
Look how
This is-
small they are.
It doesn't understand what's happening, but it's still so cute.
Okay, out of 10, out of 10.
Yeah, this is 20.
20 out of 10. Just
Yeah.
amazing, adorable.
Oh,
It's
by the way, if you hear a lot of noise, it's hailing big time again. It's
I saw that on Twitter. A couple of people are saying that there's like some major like snowstorms going on over
no,
there.
like I was at my in-laws today, and I drove home. It's like an hour drive. When I walked outside, it was raining. I got in my car, sun was shining. I drove off, it was hailing. Then sun was shining. It's like, weather isn't that bad. Then it was snowing, like very, very bad snow. And then it was sun was shining again. And then I got home. I got out of my car and it started raining again. And then it started snowing and sun, and now it's hailing. It's weird. I don't understand what's
odd.
happening.
It's see, I mean, like, because I was out earlier on today. I actually went out for once. We're still in lockdown, so like, you're not allowed to go out. Like, if you're going out, you're getting fucking locked up, right? You know, so I went out and it was really nice and warm and sunny and it was beautiful outside. I go onto Twitter and I see someone mentioning it's fucking snowing, and I'm like,
No, it's not.
okay. Also, I'm learning a little bit of Dutch actually.
Risky.
I learned it from Leonski.
Even more risky.
Hoe graag het je moeder?
I'm not.
Um,
Can you type it out for me?
hoe graag, like, hoe graag. Yeah, that's the one. Drizzy's got it. Hoe graag het je moeder?
Oh, she's doing well.
Het met je moeder.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hoe gaat
I've
het
been
met je
told
moeder?
that apparently learning Flemish is easier.
Yeah,
What's
because
your
they don't
take on
even
that?
pronounce letters, so it's okay.
As well. Like, have you ever found, like, you know, when you're working with other people from different nationalities that sometimes like the accent or like, I mean, speaking of accent, we've got Hap in chat with the tree. Have you ever found like it's so hard to understand what people are saying? Like how does that work? Because obviously with CS, you've probably cast with so many different people, right?
Yeah, but like I've had to really, really learn to understand Belgian people, and sometimes I still don't. But it really depends on where they're from. Like the French part, of course, I don't understand jack shit because it's French. I only know voulez-vous coucher avec moi, et baguette,
Bonjour.
fromage, bonjour, oui, oui.
Je m'appelle Fraberi.
Oh.
Comment ça va?
Yeah, yeah.
Olá, me amo Fraberi. Buonasera, come stai?
Uno se versa,
I
por
can't
favor.
say that one. Yes.
That's all I know. That's all I need to know, especially.
Where's
like,
the bathroom? You need to know that. Everyone needs to know that. Parlez-vous la...
Pipi.
Toilette. Yeah, oui, la pipi. Where?
Oui, c'est très bien. Yeah. Like,
c'est très bien.
Some Belgian people I can understand fully because they live close to the border. But like, the further you go west, the harder it gets. Like those people, they just speak another language, but they're afraid to admit it. They have certain words which sort of make sense, but sound stupid in our world, or at least the Dutch language. So, like, they have a different word for a slide than we do, which sort of makes sense.
What is the Dutch word for slide?
Glijbaan.
Sleibaan.
Glijbaan.
Glijbaan.
Yeah.
That's
in
not
in Belgium,
I fucking
they use...
hated casting hekoloniseerd. How'd you say that? Come on.
Gekoloniseerd.
It sounds like I've got a fucking fur ball in my mouth. Like hekoloniseerd.
We're all just destroying our throats.
Yeah. Like you'd have thought I'd be used to that by now, but apparently not. And like out of all of the things, okay, what's the worst team name that you've ever casted, or like what's the worst username that you've ever had to pronounce? Like, come on, there's got to be some bad ones, especially for Go Force.
Oh, like there's been many bad names.
Oh yeah.
The problem is whenever I'm done with casting, like everything deletes. So like you're now asking for player names, like I can't remember it. Oh wait, with the Valorant event I did for Red Bull, there was one guy called Epic Big Shawarma, which did really grind my gears because I wanted to get shawarma every time I said it. But it wasn't that bad. But I always get my good feedback from Easy, who is my backbone in life, and he said Hap's team in the show match is probably the worst name I had to pronounce.
What was it?
I have no clue.
Easy, because I think he can't hear me. He's in the production studio right now.
I think it was Team Hap or something like.
Team Hap. It's a dreadful username. I love Hap.
I love him too.
Right.
Like, I will have to prepare a moment where I can finally go to his house again, and it's safe, of course, and get sandwiches from his brother. Oh, Wendigo.
That's a while ago. That's what, like 2017?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's on.
Let's go check Hap's Wikipedia page. I don't think he's had any many wins on there, so that should be relatively easy.
Wasn't that 2018? No, it was.
You know, to be fair, I can't laugh at that because if I look at my Wikipedia page, if I look at the as player, my last notable event, the Invitational 2021, I got 9th to 10th place, 0-0-4. We lost four best of threes. I got fucking pegged in by Jess, like holy shit. That ping was not fun. Alright, let's have a look. He got third, fourth place in a Go For, Benelux Quarterly 2017 for Wendigo. Second place in a Go For. Third place in a Go For.
Clean.
Fair enough.
I've never really achieved much in
he lost the show match
as a player.
So Team Hap lost to Team Toldesma 8-7 in the
oh
Season
wait,
5.
I take everything back. I've really did something great in my playing career.
Wanna tell me? Come on, fill the scene in.
Destroy Hap.
Oh, how does that feel?
Nah, like, it was such a crazy match. Like, the problem was, we were both at the office playing,
Yeah.
which was interesting to say the least. Well, it was such a great time. Like
Hmm.
being at the office always is great, especially when Hap was there.
Yep.
Like we'd get fed with food, have some amazing times, and then that show match we were so hyped about it. And I think I had Stefan in my team, so that meant that I couldn't lose, of
Yeah.
course.
So you
Uh,
had Toldesma, Caraxon, Stade, or Stead,
mhm,
Eastwood, and Easy. Team
yeah,
Hap was Hap, believe it or not, Snuff, and Daman,
yes, and the
Kabuda,
angle.
yeah, and the Angle, Kabuda, and then Anthony. I know Kabuda. I remember him.
He had some crazy dots in the wall, which he would always shoot and then kill people from there. So that was my
Yeah.
biggest fear. Like losing to Hap, it wouldn't be too bad, but it would have been the first place finish he'd ever had. So that would be slightly painful. But like it was close, 8-7. He won the 1v1. I have to admit that. So I'll take that loss. But we took it in the end. It was 2-2 in kills, by the way. So.
Oh, I love that. I love how like you can still go back like years down the line and you can still find like these stats. Like it's great. Do you think you'd ever go back to playing like in another show match if you ever were asked to do so? Who would be the
Easy.
best? Who would you want to play against in another
Ooh.
show match?
Ooh. So I can't choose Hap anymore.
Mhm.
Oh wait, there's a Twitter. Let's first go into the Twitter thingy. Our 6PL day, really excited and hyped to put our logo on the national level. Pour se passer aussi pour les amis. Sushi, a W Shark, a Reris et l'hiver, qui, si je ne trompe pas, joue en gros de Code d'Italie. I think something playing in Italy or something, or from the coast of Italy. That's all I know. Oui.
Please don't ever attempt to do French ever again.
Hey, I've learned French for like 6 years, so...
I have you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's paying off.
No. Same as with casting. Deleted.
By the way, chat, if you are interested in getting involved, we are showing some tweets down at the bottom, as you've just painfully heard from Todusma. If you do want to get involved with that, it's hashtag R6BL, I believe. If you want to do any tweets, our producer is actively picking up some of them, and we'll potentially show them down below as we're just kind of having a nice little chat. In addition to that, very kindly, in collaboration with Rainbow Six Benelux, they are helping us with a couple of giveaways. We are doing a couple of giveaways here and there. And so you'll see that popping up every now and then. If you want to take part in that, you need to let us know in the chat. We'll be setting this up in a few minutes. We have a question. And I believe the question of the day is, what was the most played map in Benelux Season 5, in the Benelux League Season 5 group stage? There it is right there. What was the most played map during the Benelux League Season 5 group stage? So if you want to get involved with that, put it in chat. We're just going to organize that from now. Benelux Season 5, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll just...
how did you feel about that?
I'm just gonna check when that was, because my... it
You
was
don't even
last
remember?
year. Oh, it's last year. It's not that bad. Wait, we're now going into Season 6, my brain. Sorry. Like, sometimes those easy things don't work out in my brain.
Mhm.
Now, like, Season 5, it was a great season. We still had Loaded Alliance, which was actually Gamma, but then different. Sector 1 actually reaching the Challenger League. I did believe that it was a very competitive season with some very interesting twists at the end with, for instance, UX Gaming with Robinshu getting into the top 4. They had been grinding it out for, well, I dare to say years to actually get to that level. And then in the last week, I believe they were able to get into the top 4, play the finals, and it didn't even matter like what spot they would get. Of course, they knew they had to face Low Alliance, so they expected a loss, and it was a double 7-0, but we forget that. But like just seeing them grow was pretty much the biggest thing for me in that season. Like, of course, we expected now Gamma Gaming to win, and we could have probably guessed that Sector 1 would have been the second seed coming out with the Challenger League spot as well. But like that little story of them growing with their fan base, because like Robin, he had personally the biggest fan base around out of all the players. Even Gamma Gaming, they had some international names back then, like Blast and Next One. That didn't even matter. Like they had Team Robin and all the guys with Robin in their name in the Twitch chat. That's always just a joy to see.
I think one of the things I love so much about casting and also watching the Benelux League has been seeing all of these names and faces that kind of pop up, maybe in their different teams, different lineups than you'd seen them, like, the time before. And just kind of seeing these players always kind of coming back time after time. I've heard it, a bit of a meme and a bit of a joke that, Craxton's revenge story. He's all constantly retiring, constantly coming back. You look at, say, for example, Soul Close playing on Throw Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I just love about the Benelux League has just been some of these players are just constantly trying their best, and sometimes it doesn't always work out, but you know what? You can be sure as shit they're going to come back next year in a different team, different lineup, different idea of how they're going to win. Everyone wants to be the top dog in Benelux League. And I think it's fun to watch these teams growing. Sometimes you're not going to see them, kind of achieving their goals, but I think it's the experiences that you get out of competitive play, right? It's the journey, right? From how you get from point A to point B, that sometimes matters the most, right?
I'll dare to say that Braxton might be retired for good now, because he actually has a job now, which is quite a step up. No, he's always been working. He delivered a lot of post packages for a long time, but now he actually has a job as a physiotherapist. So I think he's now focused on different aspects in life, like spending money, actually. I'm just really happy to see him transcend trying to be as good as Have was ever once in his career. And now having a new journey. But like, I love to see Craxton perform. I hope he'll be back in show matches, because that's where he deserves to be. But I'm really curious to see if we can have some new up-and-coming talent in the following seasons, because, well, some people, of course, usually the players competing are students.
Yeah.
That's something that we always know. And the moment you're not at the top of the league and you're ending your studying career, you'll probably have to drop out due to actually finding a job or doing an internship. So I hope that the new generation will be up and coming soon, and possibly take the spot of some old guys.
I mean, let's talk about that, and let's actually kind of use that as a nice little segue over to our next conversation, which is, well, qualifiers are over. School's out for the summer. We're looking over... That was a joke. We're looking over towards the group stage of Benelux Season 6. Now, we've had a couple of teams that obviously came in from the previous season. So that would be Gamefist and Gamma Gaming. But then we've also had a couple of other teams coming in through qualifiers, and that's where the majority of these teams have come from. Red Falcons. It's a team that, myself and Silver were very lucky enough to cast out last year during the bi-weeklies, during the smaller, kind of weekly and bi-weekly events under the name Team Cultist. And now to see them in the position that they're in now, obviously getting into Benelux League, it's been a massive journey for some of these players, and it's only just beginning, because when we're looking into this, we've got, 14 weeks, 10 to 14 weeks, I think, of group stages. And that's going to be a lot of development time for some of these teams. Now, some of these teams might not necessarily progress quite as quickly as others, but I think this is a good opportunity, and it's a good learning experience, right?
I think it's also for the more experienced teams quite a challenge, because they're used to just having like 7 weeks of competition. So if something wasn't really working out, they can possibly say, "Oh, we'll just finish a few more weeks and then see what happens next. We can probably swap out some players." But now you have 14 weeks split with a transfer window somewhere around the middle, which means that they could say after 7 weeks, "Well, we'll change it around or stick together and try to at least have that experience as a team, rather than some players actually, or as some teams actually swapping, then having to readjust, having a little bit of honeymoon period, and then possibly dropping their performance after, because then you possibly have a little bit of the same like Navi had with Joe. First 2 games, amazing. Joe, best fragger and spawn peaker ever. And then afterwards, he just drops things like Fraser. What
I
did you
don't know what
drop?
you're talking about. It's my mouse.
Oh, that's why I don't have a wireless
okay.
one. Can you see it? No, you can't see it. It's not.
Can't see.
Oh,
What do you
there.
have? Oh, is that Final Mouse?
No, it's Steel Series.
Ooh, I've got
I got
a
it.
I've got a Logitech G Pro Superlight, and the problem with
Ooh.
it is I keep throwing it about.
Because it's so light.
Yes. Also, because I'm really bad at doing. You know the bolo twirl? Have you ever seen that?
Which one?
It's called a bolo spin. It's basically one of the comp players does like just like a
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Jess
Mhm.
can do it, and it fucking pisses me off because like last time I did it, I fucking dropped it. And it's like, I don't know what like the entertainment value is in it, but you know what? Yeah, some people do
Like
it.
some people just have like that. Like, there was also a player that just kept doing 360s after he did certain moves in game. It's just a thing that
Mhm.
people build up in their
Have
mind.
you ever like how do you Okay, no, we're not putting me on full screen because that's essentially it. No, we're good. Thank you, producer.
Okay.
So how do you have your keyboard? Because like you know whenever you're looking at LAN, right?
Oh yeah.
You've got some people and they've got like their keyboard like that, and they're somehow
Yeah.
like
Let me tell you a story about that because my
Go on.
competitive career in Rainbow Six started earlier than that of Hap. Just wanting to throw that out there. It's also ended earlier than Hap's. There was
Yeah, it did.
Rainbow Six during the beta, and there was a event in Utrecht, First Look. They actually asked some big organizations, and I was a manager of MCon back then.
Yep.
Like, can you put out a team and you can just play the beta in like a small competition? I'm like, sure. We get there, and I see the stage. I'm like, it's a very small stage, and I'm like, I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting it to be this small. And I kid you not, it was like this much room for your mouse, your keyboard, and everything. And then there would be PCs on either side. So
Oh
you
no.
couldn't really mess with that either. So I actually had my keyboard in 90 degrees. And I have a wicked low sensitivity. So I also didn't have much room to still use my mouse either. So like I was completely like this trying to play around is terrible. We got smacked. Like I got kills, the rest of the team got smoked.
Yeah. I mean, I've got like I think I'm like an ARM player because I've got. I'm trying to remember. I've got 12, 12, 83, and then I think 400 DPI.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like because it's. From what I can remember, a lot of people have it either like around about 5 or 6, and then 800 DPI, or they'll have 12, 12. 400 DPI. I prefer having it on the low DPI. I remember Wishmaster put up a tweet a while ago actually about how you should have on like 1600 DPI, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm good. I just gotta stick what I know.
Yeah, I have 400 DPI 6.6, so I'm a little bit lower than you,
Yeah.
like halfway lower. So that then you can understand how this little space you
Yeah,
have
it's
to
like,
play around is terrible. Like I couldn't turn around if I wanted to.
Ooh, I like that. Let's talk about how Toldismo is featured on the second largest newspaper's website front page today.
Yeah, like
Hello?
last Saturday, we had the Red Bull Campus Clutch in
Mhm.
Valorant, which is just like a very big international thing for Red Bull, where they try to get the best Valorant team out of every country, or at least as many countries as they can. And I did the Dutch part, and we had a very sick place where we could actually cast in Eindhoven, which is very close to Hap. Shout out to Hap, and also very
I
close to
have.
Anne. Because she also lives very close to there. And like Red Bull, of course, big company, has some connections with the press, and they wrote an article on the AD, which is a very big newspaper, and that actually got posted as the recent articles for all their news outlets. So it's
Oh,
quite interesting that I actually put it there, because usually esports things, they put it a little bit lower. They try to
yeah, a
keep it
little
away
bit low
from there, but
down.
it's Red Bull. They had some good pictures, so they
You got
figured
some
we'll just put
clout.
it in. Yeah,
Yes.
so there I was, just shining there, you know. You know
Oh,
me.
figure. You're the figure of the entire community.
Classic.
How does that feel? Like, just when you sit back and you kind of think about all of the things that you've done over the last like 4 years. like, how is that like? Can you feel proud of everything that you've accomplished, or like
Oh
how do you
yes.
look at that?
Like still, of course, I would have preferred to have done more international things, but of
Yeah.
course, it's very hard to get in there. My English hasn't always been that great as some of my colleagues like have, so that makes it a little bit hard. And of course, I wasn't able to fully focus on a single game. Like Counter
Yeah.
Strike, I knew in and out, so I could, if I would have had the chance better, then I could have possibly gone more international there. But Rainbow Six, that was just a thing on the side at the start. Like that's
Mhm.
something I had to do to pay the bills, and it was fun, of course. But I didn't have the time to fully start playing until, like, let's see, when I actually got my first rank. It's actually quite embarrassing. That's my first season that I actually got ranked.
I
Let's
like
see, that
that.
was
I like this
Void
comment here.
Edge. Oh, which
At
one?
least your Dutch is better than Haps, but then again, so is Fraser's Dutch.
But that's something that always comes around. That's something Stefan would also dare to say. But like Void Edge, when was that actually?
It was
Void
like, was that
Edge
this
6.
year?
No, that's 2020. That's the first season I got ranked.
Okay,
I,
well, what did you get? And
Gold 2.
okay, so Void Edge,
And
I was Plat 2.
the
And I
last
think I'm
two
like,
seasons I've been plat, so I'm at
yeah,
least a qualified caster, I dare to say.
it's fair.
So that works. Now, like, I got a game from Milan because he said, well, if you want to prepare, if you just want to play games, it's fine. But
Mm,
back then, when he gave it to me, so that was end of 2017,
hmm.
like I started also full-time casting Counter-Strike in 2018. So I didn't have much time on my hands to also do that and also like try to juggle in some education. So I had to say, yeah, well, that won't work. 2019 was like crazy busy. Well, of course, we also had, I think in 2019, we also had Challenger League pop up for the first time. Let's fact check that. Yeah, in
Can we
2019.
unban him, please? Thank you.
And Banham? Oh, what did he do this time? Oh, no.
I
Oh,
don't
he,
know.
oh, he probably said things wrong, and Easy is quite strong and strict, which he dares to be, and he should be against that because it's disastrous how he types Dutch. But like in 2019, we also had Challenger League
Mhm.
coming up, which was for me a big learning curve, of course. But
Yeah.
I also had Hap to help me out and learn more about the game.
Ooh.
So back then I didn't have the time, but also didn't have the need to play to learn because I always
Mhm.
had Hap. And then in 2020, like things what slowed down, of course, due to COVID. I said, well, Milan, you don't have anything to do as well because it's lockdown. Let's just get grinding on ranked. And he's like, yeah, sure, buddy. And then we had some other people, like some influencers as well, playing.
Yeah.
So just great fun.
Last season I played a lot with so we had JPM, Miss Marie, So Close, Leonski, and myself. A couple other people here and there. We had Afi as well. Love Afi. He's a fucking great guy.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to see him getting picked up by more. And actually, let me slight tangent here. Afi, all right,
Yeah.
absolutely superb analyst. I had the pleasure of working with him for UKIN 1 finals. And I know he does quite a fair bit of work in the UK. And I'm really hoping to see him maybe in the future being able to get picked up for other kind of things like can you imagine Afi being getting picked up to work on something like EWEL?
Ooh.
Just assist.
Well,
with
I
some, like,
wouldn't be
statistics and
confused if
analytics.
that would be like a pickup because
Yeah.
he's of course very smart because I think he's also working at a law firm.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and like he's so kind. He's very hardworking. Like if you want someone to grind, he's like that guy to go to. And during interviews, it was always just really fun trying to switch it up every time, have some creative content on the side as well.
Mhm.
So I dare to say he's a very valuable pickup. By the way, just gonna throw this out there because I always have to
I go on.
keep my tabs on. Stefan is just spoiling it for me. I just wanted to say that Stefan. Panix is actually retired from Rainbow Six Siege.
Entirely.
Entirely. He has tweeted my retirement from competitive Rainbow Six Siege and my
Okay.
goodbye to the community. And then a very big tweet longer, which, oh my god, it's so long. I'll just deny that. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that.
My opinion about that is obviously I've literally just heard about this. Fair play to him. I think fair play for him being able to recognize when it's time for him to bow out and when he wants to bow out. I think he's been around quite a fair bit over the last few years. I personally, obviously, I haven't, I've never spoken to him, but I think it's a shame that he never quite achieved everything that he probably wanted to. I would expect that he probably had, dreams and ambitions just like anyone else. It's a shame, but I also respect him for, taking this decision. I think that's always going to be quite difficult. And that, as it shows down there. Fair play to him. I think, best luck to him for whatever he decides to do in the future. I think it's really important for people to remember, like, R6 is good and everything, and esports in general is good, but it's not everything, and it shouldn't be your only dream or ambition, right? Like, I think it's always important to have other things in mind and other plans for the future, because, life is massive, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, of course. Like, I've of course now been casting full-time for 3 years, which has been a blast, but the problem is that you're also now noticing with COVID hitting, like last year was still a very good year, but I'm noticing how scary and inconsistent it can be. Of course, I'm quite used to having very late bookings. That's always been the case. But like, I'm also now trying to look towards the future and see if I could maybe get like part-time or full-time employment and still do some casting on the side, wherever it would be possible. Just to at least be on the safe side, because I'm now getting at a certain age that you're slowly looking into building a family, trying to get a house, which is terrible at the moment in time. But like, I have to also look to the future, and I love to still cast and do everything. But like, whenever I would get children, and then like, the first 2 months of the year or 3 months, I don't have any income, so we'll just have to save everything we can, and then afterwards, money will slowly start to come in, and then at the last 2 quarters of the year, which is usually like where the money happens, that's like 70% of my income. So then we can actually live. But the rest of the time, we just have to be very mindful of expenses. So that's not really a way to live properly, I dare to say.
Let me ask you a question. It's on a fairly similar note here. How has kind of your work changed in terms of the dynamics, going from, working in a studio and being able to actually sit down with a caster or like a co-caster, to then working remotely? Like, has that been a massive change for you, or?
Oh, yes. Like, it saved me so many miles on the road. Like, it's insane. Because I live all the way up north, so going to Utrecht, the studio, it's almost 2-hour drive. Going to Belgium, to the Meta's office, where I often have to work as well. That's a weekly thing now. That is just over 3 hours drive for me.
Oof.
So like, and I don't mind it. I love to put on music and just go somewhere. So like, for me, it's not a problem. But now with the remote gigs coming in for the past year, like, it saved me so much money and time. It's insane. But like, I miss being at studios sometimes, because you're way better focused. It's easier to talk things through. If something goes wrong, it's easier to troubleshoot. Because I've also now had with the last season of Rainbow Six, like 5 minutes before we would go live, my internet died, and then a minute before we went live, it was back. But of course, we still had Caster as a backup, which was almost always standing by. But just imagine it not being fixed, and then you're missing out on a day's work, and you're like, if I'd be in Utrecht right now, it wouldn't be a problem.
I've never had the opportunity to work in a studio, but from all indications that I've had from other people, it's the feeling that you get with it. And I think this is something that can be quite difficult to explain to people who have never like tried to cast before. What I would say is, like, for me, there isn't I haven't had another feeling quite like when you're having just the best cast in the world, when you're sitting there and, you're being able to, watch out and commentate over something that you're incredibly passionate about, and being able to bounce off of, your co-caster, being able to sit down and, like, you just feel like you're on top of the world, right? Like, have you ever had that feeling of just, like, everything's going right? You're just having an amazing time, you're watching something that you absolutely adore, you work with people that you love, everything's great, right?
Yeah, like I think one of the best events in that regard was the ESL Benelux finals, or at least the Rainbow Six Benelux finals,
Hmm.
which was back then with ESL that we had in Bright Day. Because I had the honor of being the desk host with Pengu as an analyst, and we had on the casting desk Happens Ironic. There should be Kickstar there, but he fell ill, so we had to swap around some things. So, well, no problem. Like, of course, we could fix it. And just being able to talk with Pengu back then, like, just helped me and gave me so much confidence in my own
Hmm.
ideas as a caster, because like, of course, I always had Hap, and he would never laugh at me if I'd say something stupid, but he always would correct me, which, of course, was like the whole dynamic between us because he
Yeah.
knew way more than I did. I had Counter Strike on the side, so I couldn't always keep up with all the updates. But just sitting there backstage with Pangu whilst the other two were casting, we're like, but like Pangu or Nicholas, I'm like, I don't know, I just call him Pangu all the time. It was
Yeah.
so much easier. Like, why wouldn't they run it like this? And he's like, that's a really good idea. I'm like, oh my god, I'm blushing already. Actually got a nosebleed because back then I actually had some nosebleeds, which I had to get burn shot.
Oh
So
no.
it's like I'm that Japanese guy that
Yeah.
gets all too excited, um, like from the stereotypical things. And
Yeah.
then he said, like, I can understand where you're coming from in this and this and this regard, but like in our level of play, we would do this and this and this. But in
Yeah.
this level of play, I think you might be onto something. Like I
It's
said
just like
something
a
right.
good feeling because it's
Yeah.
like it's so constructive, right? You're looking at it. Okay, so this and this is good. This is the reason why we're doing this, and this causes X and so on and so forth. And it's being able to look at exactly why things work. And I think that's partially one of the things that I love about Siege is how there's so many different variables that will dictate and determine whether or not something's going to work out. What kind of gadget you have, what kind of utility you're bringing, which operators are on the board, whereabouts are you, what kind of verticality can you do, all of these different things, all of these different factors come into play, and if even just one of them is wrong, then maybe that round will be completely different, and I think that's what keeps it so fresh, and it's one of the reasons why we love it when, we keep having these different shifting metas, and different shifting, basically, ideas on how to play. The people that you might have brought, on a lineup might be different a couple of years ago than what we have right now, and I think that's great.
And it's
Um,
also due to the playstyles that you could play around, because back then I remember that I had a discussion with Pengu on whether they should possibly bring out a Jackal or not. It's like, yeah, I can understand why, but maybe it's also due to their droning. But like, if you're not droning all too well, or the drones keep getting caught off because, for instance, there's some Mozzie or a Vigil just running around, like that Jackal could be a savior for you to pick off a
yeah,
roamer. Um, but let's, like, do you want to trade in some value from different gadgets just to be on that safer side against a roamer, or be able to hunt him down easier? That's like, how do you want to risk yourself? How do you want to risk your team? Do you want to go more ranked strat, or want to go full brain mode? Do you want to rush? Do you want to go slow? Like, there's
yeah.
so many different things, and you can tweak so many different things as well. It also depends on how confident you feel in a certain game, on what kind of operators you might bring and what meta you want to run.
God, I love being able to sit down and listen to you, and you know what? We're going to do a little bit more of this. We are going to go for a break in a couple of minutes, just so we can basically get ourselves set up. We can get some more coffee, because honestly, I love my mug as well. It's so great. It's perfect.
I have
My mug.
Frisian horses.
Aww.
We also have ones with cows. Those are great. I like cows.
That is cute. I love cows. I'm Scottish. I can't help it. Anyway, so we are going to go for a quick break, just for a couple minutes, just while we sort out some new things. If you are interested, we are going to run a couple adverts whilst we're waiting. Also, secondly to that, again, if you want to take part in our giveaway, our producer can show that up at the bottom of the screen. That would be fucking brilliant. As a reminder, we are running a giveaway in collaboration with Rainbow Six Benelux right now. If you want to get involved, all you need to do is answer this question below in the chat. What was the most played map in the Benelux League Season 5 group stages? Let us know in the chat. Just need to put that down below in chat, and we'll enter you in. If you get that correct, the winner will receive 1,200 R6 credits. We are going to be running that each week. Now, we are going to be doing, I think, about 15 play days for casts, from what I'm aware. So today plus another 14. every single Tuesday from 1900 CEST. We're going to be running that the day before, and well, we're going to be diving into a brief analysis segment after this short break. We're going to be picking the brains, not only of Toldesmith, but also of myself, and looking at, well, some of the opportunities that we have been able to cast out throughout the qualifier. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back rather shortly. My producer said something in my ear, but I completely ignored it because I didn't hear what he said. Toldesmith, welcome back, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, I've just noticed something. My
What?
first name is written incorrectly.
He spelled your name wrong.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
IA, not
yeah.
AI. I
Well,
literally, he can copy paste my words because I spell things correctly, unlike a producer. But you know what? That's okay. It's okay.
this has happened to me many times, but like this isn't a bad mistake. Like the worst mistake in my life
What's the
with my
worst one?
first name was when I was actually in high school, which you think like, oh, you're enrolled, like you're in the system, they can
Yeah.
just copy paste your name. Out of nowhere, like during my third or fourth year in that school, they randomly managed to put an L in the middle of my name. So it was then Chaldrick. And it took me like two
Child,
months to actually
child
get that
trick.
out of the system. And I don't know how it got there. Like, I didn't do anything differently. I was just still enrolled going to the next year. And they just managed to mess up my name. And it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm still baffled by it, and I was so mad because like one of the teachers as well said like, "No, no, you're just messing with me. Like you already have a weird name, and now you're just gonna say that they spelled it wrong. It's out of the system, dude. I copy pasted it." I'm like, "No, man. You want to see my ID card because it's literally wrong?" And they just didn't believe it. So bad.
Well, we have, I think, fixed your name. I can't
Yeah,
fucking
it's
tell because it all
beautiful.
looks the same. But you know what? That's
It's
okay.
all a mumble of letters.
Bro, so with my name, there's so many people that spell it like with an I, and I'm just sitting here like, how? Like, they'll put like an I in the middle of Fraser, and I'm like, how? Like, anyway, you know what? We're gonna talk a little bit about analytics because that is exactly why we are here. I can still hear our producer in my ear, which is wonderful. I think it sounds like
Beautiful.
he's talking to Easy. He's like teaching
Yeah.
him how to do production things, and it's wonderful.
I like
Anyway,
EC. He's interested in producing things.
yes. I don't know what exactly he's doing. I think he's trying to learn how to do like productions, so that way he's got like another avenue to kind of go down. But anyway, let's talk about this right now. So we've got several teams in Benelux League Season 6. And the group stage, we've got 4 elements: Activity, Clutch Rain, Game Fist, Gamma Gaming, KVM, Red Falcons, and Team 7am. So when we're looking at this, there's a couple of names that were already there that had previously come in from Season 5. We had Gamma Gaming and Game Fist, formerly, I believe, was that Team XY? Trying to remember. Clutch Rain.
You're asking the wrong guy here.
Yeah.
What's going on, Fraser?
It's okay, don't worry. I'm supposed to know these teams, not a fucking clue.
Like KVM was Atra before, and
Yep.
Afra. Like the weird thing is, Afra was
Afra.
already like Toxic Falcons and a different thing combined, and now they combined with KV Mechelen Esports. So first there wasn't a team there because they were mainly focusing on League of Legends, and then eventually KV Mechelen pulled through and said, well, of course, we'll try to also pick up the Rainbow Six team, and now they're all in there and they have cool shirts, which is great, which is
Aw,
important as well.
that's lovely. You gotta have the shirts, right? Like that's like such a massive kind of factor here. So I'm looking at this right now. Obviously, let's kind of start off with some of the more well-known teams. We've got Gamma Gaming, Game Fist, both coming in. They came in through the Benelux Cup from last year. I think you casted that. I think, did you?
Which one did I cast?
Benelux. It was the Benelux Cup. It's the first time we had ever ran anything like that. I think you did that with Fastan or Antox.
Both, I believe, because it was an extended event. Let's see. Yeah, Antux and Fastan.
Yeah,
Which
was
Wikipedia, man.
quite
That's
fun.
the other thing I do.
Gamma Gaming, they've been around the block a wee while, obviously coming in under Lowland Lions, and then earlier on it was Heckled Nized. So we're looking at this: Leonski, Dapek, Avish, Astro, and they are now having to play with their analyst, Phenomen. That's actually something we spoke about earlier on, being that they are one of their former players, Panix, has just retired. He was previously benched. He's now retired. Gonna have to play with Phenomen, their analyst. That's gonna affect them quite a fair bit. I mean, like,
Come on, they played with Stern App and did well. Come on.
I think the way that I would look at this, and I'm always interested to know other people's opinion on this, my concern about playing with an analyst or a coach would be that at some point that coach or analyst is going to have to step back and you're going to have to fill that role in. So even if they're doing well in an interim period, at some point they need to step back and fill that 5th spot, right? My concern right now is, okay, so how are they going to fill in that? I'm trying to remember. I think I may have... I don't know whether... Have they announced whether or not they have a 5th player?
Gamma Gaming?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I believe, like, there was a little bit of a twist already with people saying, like, wait, you have, like, the Benelux rosters being announced by the Rainbow Six Benelux Twitter.
Yeah.
And then they were like, wait, why isn't Benix there? It was already just creating a little bit of craziness. And people were, like, wondering, like, okay, I don't understand what's happening. And then, now with the Benix situation now cleared up, I think they're constantly trying to trial people.
Yeah.
But there's no rush, of course. Like, you now have to, I believe, wait for the transfer window to actually pick up certain players. Possibly with certain nationals already going on or starting soon. So players might be locked in there. So they're probably building towards a transfer period and hoping to already have some points in the back and possibly extend them further after. But I wouldn't know for sure who they want to pick up, possibly another international player, because I believe they have the room for that, of course, with nominee also being French
national,
but like, of course, if they want to, they can just go Benelux core with 2 UK guys and put in Sternap. Just put him on Monty again.
Right now they've already got a Benelux core because they've got Leonski, Dapek, and Avish. Avish being from Belgium, Dapek, Leonski both being Dutch. So they've already got their 3 out of 5 rule. That means Astral, coming in from the UK, is able to participate. And then also you had Panix, who is obviously French.
Swiss, right?
Yes, but I believe he lives in France. I could be wrong about that. I'm assuming. Let's have a look. Wikipedia's always are.
Oh, he has Switzerland and France there. Ah, why
We're
would you?
50% right because he's a Swiss French player, but I believe he lives in Paris with his girlfriend. I would assume. I could be
Yeah,
wrong
like
about that.
I think that might be just the thing because always when I saw his flag somewhere, it was always Swiss. So I was like, oh, he must be Swiss.
He's
I know
yeah.
something. I'm doing the hap like I know
It's
things
fine.
better, but it's not
fine.
always
Like,
better.
we're both right. That's the thing. We're both right.
Yeah.
So we're looking at fuck off, Hap. All right, just stop being a know-it-all. Okay, it's fine.
He's so smart, man. He
is.
just does
He is
the
so
research.
smart. Also, let's actually talk about it because you mentioned that staff. They have two people right now. They've got Phenomene as their analyst, and they also have Sturnab as a coach. I think that's really important, and that's something that when you're looking through some of the Benelux teams, a couple of teams have them and a couple of teams don't. Which is support staff, having people that can sit down, do VOD review, provide either counter analysis or provide in-depth analysis to their own team. Something that's Sturnab, he's been around a long time, and he has consistently proven that he knows what he is doing, and he's proven himself very capable. I'm interested to see how Gamma Gaming will kind of continue this trend over the group stages. Now, let's talk about the team that are going to be playing up against tomorrow, which is going to be 4 elements. They've got a nice little stack up here. They've got Wishmaster, Dutch, Jero, Vapor, and Doom. Now, I don't know whether or not Doom is able to play right now. I would presume so. They do have a sub of B-Saint.
I believe I saw in the
wrong.
post from Rainbow Six Benelux, because that is also one of my main sources for intel, that he wasn't in the main roster.
So
let's see. Just
Doom
gonna scroll
cannot,
back.
so I'm assuming that's because he's underage. And Vapor is suspended. So that's
a very good start. Oh no, wait, they are in the main roster. Never mind.
Yeah, so I think the issue here is, and I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure Doom is still underage. I think that he turns 18 after one of the playdays. Yeah, Doom and Vapor can play from Playday 2 onwards. So that means that for Playday 1, when they're going up against Gamma Gaming, they're going to have to play with B-Saint as their substitute player, and likely Bard, who's their coach. So that's going to be rough.
Yeah, hey, but you're saying that's rough. But Gamma is playing with their analyst, so come on, man. Like, give him something.
I think that's going to be interesting to see basically how these teams are going to approach the first playday. We can. I'm gonna do something I may regret.
Oh, it's Hap again trying to post links, which never works out.
He's a mod now. So yeah, we're looking at Gamma Gaming.
You've messed up now.
Here's a lovely tweet coming in from Bard. Let me have a look at this. Gamma ain't shit. I'd 1v5 them if the rules didn't require players. Can we please get that up on stream, please? Are we please able to? Because that's like a images that proceed R6 images that proceed unfortunate
bookmarked it as well.
Oh yeah.
So that's like the safe thing. And like Hap, I'm really happy he's here because he has an exam tomorrow, so that's why he's missing out on the APEC play day. But this is the way he prepares. He's just listening to our English, trying to see if we say any useful stuff, which rarely is the case. And then stuff like that happens.
So I'm gonna read out this entire thread just for the sake of it, just for the fuck of it.
Storytelling.
Okay, so let's kick things off. So every decent team in BNL is already in close quals. Interested to see who will come from the qualifiers. Gamma Gaming, their Sturnab, their coach, responded, "There is only one decent team in BNL, and they're not in close quals." Lance then responded, "If you're referring to Gamma, then it is a good team. For BNL standards, these are all decent teams in close quals at the minute." Bard then retaliated. Gamma ain't shit. I'd 1v5 them if the rules didn't require
But you
5
can still 1v5
players.
them. Like, come on, man. Your team can just stay in
Come on.
spawn. Like, I'm not saying like I'm the master strategy brain here, but come on. Like, I even see this coming, and he's the coach. Whew. Don't want to flame, but it's risky if you can't even figure that out.
I mean, I'm looking at his Twitter bio right now, and it says backseat gamer for 4 elements.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm interested to see what Bard is going to be doing here. I will actually point out 4 elements. They had a pretty nice little introduction tweet, and no, I'm not on about the one from Leonski. I'm on the one that 4 elements tweeted out. Yeah, so they announced their roster: Doom, Wishmaster, Ray, Jiro, Dutch, Vapor, and Bard. So I'm interested to see about that. I think it should be quite fun. Now, I'm looking at this. Okay, 4 elements. During the qualifiers, they actually had a pretty good time. And I remember casting one of their games in particular as a Villa game. And I was really impressed consistently how they're able to pull it back in their favor on defense. Out of all of the teams that we were able to cast in the qualifiers, I think out of them, 4 Elements was the one that they actually had a pretty quiet time of it, right? But they got through relatively easily, from what I can remember, during the relegations. So I'm interested to see how they will perform here. Yeah, I'm just looking at this right now on, God, I love Wikipedia. Yeah, they had a clean 2-0 between 4 Elements and Throw Heroes. We actually have a nice little replay show as we're talking about this. And overall, they're doing pretty well. They're doing pretty well for themselves. They were consistently able to pull it back in their favor. We saw players like Wishmaster consistently providing a solid factor in the favor of their team. You saw him consistently popping off, consistently positioning himself and his teammates in the best positions possible. What I love is the fact that they were consistently able to retake some of these positions here. I mean, look at this. It's the positioning coming down. Wishmaster holding deep inside the bomb site. His team are just surrounding him. And I think it just goes to show that it's not always about the flashy gunplay and, you know, the flex and, all of these wonderful kills. It's about the overall team cohesion, which is something that we saw from 4 Elements.
Yeah, but for instance, also with that kitchen hold, you just see one roamer still being downstairs, able to disrupt and come in late into the round. The rest of the team actually spaced out properly, but still able to get a crossfire in. They're playing on so many different angles, it was really hard here for Throw Heroes to actually get back into it. And now, here as well, B-Saint. I'm not really sure why he's playing in as a sub, because I just see him being the highlight of the team every time. So I'm happy, at least for 4 Elements, that he'll be playing tomorrow. Just hoping that he can also pop off there, because just every clip is him stepping up, now triple kill as well. I dare to say he's maybe one of the more influential players in that qualifier. Of course, the whole team will carry its weight, and he's of course now playing on the Sophia, for instance, so that actually puts you in a certain spot where he could pop off like that. But I'm curious to see how they will perform. Like, the scary part is, if Gamma wins the first round, they start snowballing, they might actually 7-0 you. Like, that's always a possibility. And then it's all just starting to get into your mind. But if you actually win the first round yourself, and you have a certain player that can actually frag, like B-Saint, maybe like Dutch as well, like, you can actually get the momentum yourself. And I think that's something that's going to be really vital in that match, trying to get the momentum for yourself rather than your opponent, because otherwise you're fucked.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. As Siege is so much about the mentality and the kind of the psychology of the team. If you are able to keep yourself kind of level-headed and zeroed in, then you're going to do a much better job of performing. And I think that also kind of comes down to the experience. And I think that's something that we did see during the qualifiers, was that, 4 Elements were able to consistently perform. Even when they're at a man count deficit, they're able to pull things back in their favor. And I think it goes to show that they're able to remain calm and collected. And I think some of the other teams maybe lacked a little bit of that kind of confidence in themselves. You know, that personal strength to say, hey, fuck it, we're gonna do our best, and that will be enough. And I'm just going to be interested to see how Four Elements is going to come through this. When I'm comparing them to Gamma Gaming, I think some of the biggest things that I'd have to highlight here is, yeah, it'd be you know, easy enough to point out, okay, Gamma Gaming, they've been together for a long while, but Four Elements, they've got some players that have been around the community just as long. Look at Wishmaster as a solid example of this. You know, these players have been around the block quite a while. You know, we've seen them consistently popping off, not just in the last couple of weeks, but over the last couple of years as a whole, and that's going to pose a challenge, right? Like, we're coming into this, Gamma Gaming, well, they're going to have quite a few VODs to go over from the qualifiers, but whether or not Four Elements is going to play like that, like they did in relegations, I don't know about that.
Well, like, the big thing is that they're now playing, of course, still with B-Saint, who they know how to read into. But now also having Bart in the mix, which makes for a completely different playstyle, because probably one of your big fraggers, again, is out. And now you're putting in a coach who's usually put in a position where he feels comfortable. So that might actually mean that another player might actually have to switch his role. So that could completely change the dynamic of a certain team, because those subs are actually... usually put in a position where they can excel if possible at all. So I dare to say that Gamma can't really read into it. Knowing Gamma, they'll probably just try to play whatever. Probably try to test the water by going really aggressive in the first round. So I dare to say, if your Four Elements, try to play a little bit more passive. And then afterwards you'll just be able to read into more what they're doing. Because if you punish the first aggressive round, they'll probably go half aggressive the next round. And afterwards, they'll try to play normal with some aggression in the mix.
Alright, so let's talk a little bit more about the second matchup here that I'd like to highlight. KVM, so KV Mechelen, esports versus Team 7M. I may have absolutely butchered that. So about that. Let's talk about KVM real quick. Well, they've got a couple players on their lineup. They've got Duco, Queco, Anam, Nick, and Flexo. And I remember this clip in particular. Nick was going ballistic during the qualifier period. We saw him absolutely stepping up and providing a crucial factor in so many of the engagements and so many of the gunfights that his team were partaking in. And I think this is the thing, and something that I would highlight. They have a bit of a star player on their lineup. Duco coming in as the MVP in the final match. The grand finals of the Benelux Season 5. But you know what? Nick just, well, popped off and basically just went ham, coming in with an ace during one of the qualifier matches. Flexo coming in with a maestro in the ACS 12. There are so many players on this lineup that have just had their hero moment throughout the qualifiers. And that was just superb to watch.
ACS 12 is just my favorite gun. Ask everyone I've played with, they will know. Yeah. I'm just a little bit scared because I'm too good with the gun that I will be banned after a while. So I try to also play the different weapons for both Alibi and Maestro. Yep. But like the good thing is that Duco, of course, being a star player, as you highlighted, he was the MVP of the last season.
Yep.
It's very comforting for him that even if he has an off day or at least can't frag enough as he did before, that he'll still have some great players to back him up. So that alleviates a lot of pressure. That also could change some dynamics on certain maps, so they could actually change around roles possibly, because they can all go for that star fragging role.
Oh, look at that team kill coming down from Adam.
That's what I do as well when I see Hap. What? No, but like having the possibility to change around roles and possibly change around some aggression in the team, making every role around the map pretty vital and deadly. I think that could really make them a big challenger, and also with the players with some experience. Of course, Queco has had quite some experience himself, and also Duco now having played an entire season and actually being the MVP. I dare to say that's probably a very big up for the team where they can rely on. For instance, as Wishmaster is the backbone for Elements, or at least we dare to say.
So I'm interested about this, about how they would perform. I think that's gotta be one of the teams that a lot of people are looking forward to as being probably one of the heavier hitters coming in, at least from the newer teams. Obviously, they've got Lance as their coach. I'll be interested to know what kind of support they'll be getting there, and how much that's going to be, kind of affecting them going down the line. But let's talk about the other team that they will be playing against, which is Team 7am. Now, we unfortunately don't have any clips of them, unfortunately. I may have forgotten to save the VOD, I'm so sorry. Team 7am, they've got Hoffo, Yona, Loki, Avi, and Mata. Now, I'm looking at this, I recognise a couple of names and faces, I've seen them around for a wee while. Hoffo and Yona. Two players in particular that I would want to highlight. Yona, time and time again, was popping off throughout so many of their matches, and I was personally very impressed with how Team 7am performed. I was a little bit concerned, kind of coming into this, when I saw some of the opponents that they would be playing against, and I figured they might not have the experience necessary to kind of go toe-to-toe here, but you really couldn't tell when you're looking at some of their gunfights. So we actually see this here. Team 7am played against KVM Esports during the qualifier matches here. One thing that I would highlight is that these players were going back and forth every single round, and it was almost going down to 1v1s almost every single round.
Yeah, but that's what you want to see, right? Then you already know that your qualifier is stacked, and then the other team that might be on the losing end actually has a good shot, because KVM, we knew they were good. Team 7am, lesser known players, but actually already a organization that is quite stacked in the Benelux, especially looking at their League of Legends roster. They've done quite well, and now to see them in this league as well, stepping into another title, I think it's also going to be quite interesting to see how they will perform, and of course on the long run.
I mean, we're looking at this, as we mentioned earlier on, and I remember Lance kind of clarified it in chat a little bit. So I believe we've got 14 play days, but it's spread out over about 17 weeks, because we will have a wee break in between that, for a couple of weeks, just, like a mid-season break, I think.
The transfer window will be in the middle, so due to keeping that actually possible for all the teams to swap around, and of course not be able to swap during weeks, which would be quite weird. They've opened up, or at least split the season in two, to actually have the time for a transfer window to happen, which is a global transfer window, of course, with all the national and pro league and whatever, so that it stays fair for everyone. Because of course, if you keep playing, and 1 week a team will have that player and then that player, and then it's really hard to read into it. And now you can actually prepare as a team and prepare as an opponent as well.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it earlier on with Gamma. Obviously having to play there with Phenomene for now. Looking at it, 7 weeks on in, then you'll be able to kind of potentially pick up another person, and I guess we'd kind of be hoping for Gamma that by that point they have had a good opportunity to kind of scout around and see which players are available, which ones are interested, potentially get some practice in, so that way they can kind of hit the ground running, right? It's. I think it's important to recognize that kind of competitive integrity is being put at the forefront there by having these transfer windows. It ensures that players are treated fairly, and it also ensures that everyone's going to have a good opportunity to see what they can do over kind of the coming weeks. Alright, so let's talk about Clutch Rain versus Red Falcons. Now this is personally, for me, this is one I was rather interested in. Clutch Rain, I didn't get to cast over the qualifiers. And that was casted out by Tudors and Whippet during their cast. They played up against Red Falcons a couple of times. And Red Falcons in particular was a team that I've known for a wee while. They've had a couple of good days, a couple of bad days. I remember casting them during the bi-weeklies. And to see them in Benelux League, the group stages now, I'm excited about this because I think they've got a lot of potential. I just want to see them really kind of driving that home and really see them trying their best to grow and use this experience and use this opportunity of playing against arguably more experienced teams to hopefully build them up to potentially be stronger in the future.
That's going to be, I think, especially a mental challenge, because it's not that they probably will have a bad mentality because they have a little experience, or at least least experience of most teams. uh, but it's gonna be hard. Like, you can expect to lose a first match, especially if you're playing against, I dare to say, a French powerhouse, because why else would they be playing in the Benelux League if they're
Yep.
already this strong as a French team? And then you're possibly going to lose the second one. Like,
Yep.
I'm not sure who they're up against, but there's a chance. And you will have
Yep.
to still be learning, and maybe you'll, well, most likely you'll probably make some progress between those play days, and you'll still lose. But then you'll still have to stick to staying positive and trying to build upon that and say, yeah, well, of course we're losing because they're also adapting, they're also improving, but we might be improving faster, but we're still behind.
Yep.
In Dutch, we have a certain saying which translates very, very badly into English. Uh, it is the law of diminishing lead. So
Hmm.
the team that's at the top, for instance, now we say Gamma Gaming because
Yep.
we can arguably say they're best team at the moment. They are the
100%.
top and they're improving. But they can't improve as fast as the team that are trying to catch them because they can actually learn from the team at the top.
Yep.
So you can expect the teams to learn, but the problem is every team that's not at the top will still be able to learn quite quickly. So if you're at the bottom, you can still learn, also be slightly faster than the team above you, but they'll also be able to learn slightly faster than the team above them. So it's
Hmm.
gonna be always that catch-up game, which is gonna be hard, especially mentally to cope with, and also to see how different playstyles during such a season will affect them, because maybe the French teams will play more aggressive or play a different style than the team afterwards. And you can try to fix mistakes against a certain style, but then you'll face another style and you'll be completely messed up because you don't understand why what you just tried to fix is now not working against a new team.
Something I want to see would be that, well, even if some of these teams are kind of approaching the lower kind of spectrum or the lower end of the league table, I still want to see them learning and growing because it shouldn't just be about the number one team or the number two team. It should be the fight to that. It should be about every single team, having that potential to be the top dog. And that's something that we have here in the UK, is that it's always a constant struggle to see which team will come out on the number one spot. Is it going to be Kavana? Is it going to be M&M, Navi, Wild, as examples here? And in my opinion, and this is something I've spoken about here in the UK, there are so many of the UK teams, those four in particular, that, in my opinion, would be able to give a pretty good fight up to a lot of Challenger League or potentially some of the Tier 1 teams. And I want to see that more coming in from the Benelux League, which is, I want to see some of these lower teams giving it a good effort, and I want to see them kind of consistently growing and evolving over time to potentially make it so we're going to be seeing that skill range and that difference between the teams kind of slowly shrinking together. So it's going to get a lot closer as these teams kind of develop. And I
Yeah,
think that's entirely possible. As you mentioned, that maybe some of these teams might start out a little bit weak in the first couple of weeks, but they've got time to grow and adapt and get better. Not just mechanically, but as a team, the cohesion, the chemistry, the synergy. There's so much to esports, and it's not just about pure skill, it's about the entire package.
I think the big thing as well is that now the teams now have the time to, of course, improve on that.
Yep.
And I dare to say that some of the old have gone out, so the new can actually put all the passion. Because if you're just joining the scene, if you're just joining the league for the first time, like, your motivation at an all-time high. I
Yep.
could understand that certain motivation. Of course, the Gamma Gaming crew will still be pushing big time to reach top, but
Yep.
after not reaching Pro League for a few times already, that will grind your gears. Your motivation might slightly be down compared to, for instance, now the Red Falcons team, who are up and coming. They're new. They want to see how far they can come. They still have the dreams of reaching the top within like 2 seasons. So they'll be working their asses off. Like, individually, they'll be grinding big time. As a team, they'll be grinding big time. And if they have the support from, for instance, a coach and an analyst, like, that will help big time. And I think that will really make it easier for them to grow. And I
Mhm.
hope indeed, as you say, that like the differences will shrink throughout the season, and possibly like these teams won't be too far behind to actually make it to the playoffs then.
Alright, and let's kind of talk about the last matchup of tomorrow. We've got Game Fist versus Activity. Now, starting off with Activity, they've got Yuri, Karmaz, Hennessy, Dervish, and Kane B. They made it through during the relegations. They came up and through the ranks. Had a pretty good go of it, actually. I remember being able to cast them a couple of times. Yuri and Kane B were some of the players that I spotted absolutely popping off left, right, and center. You know, Yuri, time and time again, was kind of showing the rest of his team kind of how it's done. And I think having a figure within your team that can kind of step up and provide that kind of leadership role, I think Yuri has really kind of grown and evolved over the time that he's been participating here in the Benelux region. I remember back when he was with, in the nicest way possible, when he was with MCon, he was a little shit. But you know what? He's grown and he's gotten better. He's developed, and it's a pleasure to see him nowadays, to see exactly what he is achieving with this new lineup. And hey, who doesn't love a makeup story? You know, who doesn't love a fairy tale of some of these players getting better?
Well, I hope that he'll leave all his hats behind, because he's had quite some hats during interviews. But I believe he's also grown. He's matured a lot during the last year. And I'm curious to see how that will actually translate into the game as well. Can he keep his cool with the team? Can he actually carry the team with his experience and also some good mental fortitude? And then going up against Game Fist, I'm really curious, because in Game Fist there's some more well-known teams as well, or players for me as well. Like Hughes, just like Wishmaster, has become a dad and is still playing because luckily his wife allows him to. Smurfia, I believe LNG and Bang we've also seen before, and then as a coach,
Cyber as well.
Yeah, Cyber as well, but like the big thing for me is then Deox as a coach. Like, he's been in and out of the scene just like Gregson for a long time. He has the first name similar as Hap. And now seeing him back, like I expected him to have been retired. But like he played with Deus at the start in 2017 when I casted him for the first time. He's played for Vex for some time, also now then going for a sub position later, and now it's actually gone to be a coach, which is quite big because he's got a lot of experience. I'm not sure how he can translate that into being a coach, because of course he's very smart, but he's also being known as a slightly more emotional player. So then going into the coach, you really have to keep your cool and try to explain everything in a proper way. And I believe he can, but it's going to be, of course, interesting to go into that role. I'm really hoping for him to be at the top again, because one of the great memories is that when we were in the ESL studios in Haarlem, that whenever there was a final, he'll always take his girlfriend and his mother. And his mother would always, like, after every match, she'd call in with the home front, like, saying, yeah, he's doing quite well. He's already made this much money. He's going for more. Like, that's always a thing that came in. And he's always just a great spirit to have around. So I'm really rooting for him once more. I'm just hoping that the team can keep up with his big brain.
Yeah, I remember watching him during UCAN 1. He played, as you mentioned, with Vex during the UK scene. Had a bit of a rough time, admittedly, but I think the pedigree is there. The fact that he has been around for, I'd probably guess, at this point, probably 4 years. 2016, 2017, I think. So I'm interested to see how he's going to perform at a coaching role. I don't know whether he has cast, or I don't know whether he has coached before. I think it's, you know, there definitely has, you know, something to be said for coming in, you know, from a player background into a, you know, in kind of a player or a coaching or analyst role. I think it'll be interesting to see how he will kind of develop there, because it's a whole new kind of world, so to speak, here, and I think it'll be interesting. As for Game Fist, you know, as you kind of mentioned here, it's a team that has been around for a while. The core lineup coming in, obviously, they qualified in through the Benelux Cup earlier last year. Hughes is a player that I recognise quite a fair bit. Smurf here as well. Cyber, unfortunately, I haven't had the pleasure of casting out LNG or Bang. I'm interested about that. I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Game Fist, and I'm hoping that they're not going to disappoint. Now, what we are going to do is we're just going to have a look at this now. Okay, so I'm going to ask you for a scoreline prediction.
Oh no.
Yep, come on, Caster's curse time. Alright, I'm going to ask you for a prediction here, okay? Team 7am, come on.
I can already see, like, everyone in the chat, oh, this man said this and this, he's wrong. Or Twitter, like, it always comes back to haunt me, I know.
Come on.
I know, it's gonna come. Okay.
Come on, let's get the clout. Let's get the Twitter impressions, the Reddit camera.
Yeah.
Let's go on.
Everything.
Also, chat, if you want to take part as well, let us know who do you think is going to be winning these matches. Let us know in the chat as we're talking through them. So, starting things off, first match of the day tomorrow, Team 7am versus KVM.
Okay. I'm not gonna say because Lance is in the chat, because, well, you know, that would be a little bit biased. But I dare to say KV Mechelen. I believe with the roster they have a lot of experience. Not that 7am is bad or anything. Like, far from it. They have a very good team. I think with KV Mechelen, they have Duco as a star player, as you said, Nick as well, being able to step in. Quecko just doing Quecko things. I don't even know what he's doing. I think they should have this in the bag. Quite easy, well, not quite easily, but I dare to say like 7-3, 7-4. Sounds like a good score indication.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with you there. I think it's probably going to be a KVM win there. I would expect probably 7-3, 7-4. I'm going to go with 7-4. I think that 7am, I hope that they're going to do well. I'm personally expecting to probably see a lot of, well, it's, you know, it's a surprise to nobody, a lot of Oregon, a lot of...
Clubhouse, maybe.
A lot of... I'm going to say a lot of Oregon or a lot of Villa, I think, for the first play day. I think we're probably going to stick with something fairly quiet. I would expect that we're probably going to see Oregon. Probably a 7-4 in favor of KVM. What I would kind of actually expect to happen here was, I think that it will likely be... I think KVM are going to pick them up.
Oh no!
I'm going all in here, okay? Because again, I'm probably going to get this entirely wrong. I'm going to assume that because Team 7am are the first team, they're the team on the left, so that means they pick them up first. Or
this
they
is big brain stuff, man.
Think about it, because it's a best of one, so each team gets to ban out 3 maps apiece. I'm expecting that Team 7am will kick that off, so I'm assuming that KVM will pick the map, which means that Team 7am will probably start on defense first, or Oregon. I'm expecting them to probably win a couple of rounds on defense, but I think that KVM are probably going to pull through, especially in attack. I think they've shown themselves pretty remarkable there. I'm expecting 7-4 Oregon for KVM. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I see where it's coming from. No, I agree. Like, KVM should be the better one. I want to say K because that's how you say A in Dutch. And my brain can only pronounce Dutch or Belgian names with Dutch pronunciation, so it takes a little bit of effort. I think they should be able to come out on top. Never know for certain. It's a Benelux, come on. Knock on wood because we're caster cursing.
This is the thing, alright? You can never provide actual analysis because it's got to go completely out of the window. As soon as these players get to the lobby, you see the trash talk flying. That's what we love about it. It is so exciting to watch. Second match, we've got Clutch Rain versus Red Falcons. I'm gonna go straight away. Clutch Rain. I'm gonna say 7-2. I'm going 7-2
like
Clutch
the
Rain.
problem is, like, I don't know how good Red Falcons is, but just going into...
They won 2-0 against Join the Force in the relegations.
Yeah, but like like my thinking way is like Red Falcons has 4 Benelux players.
Actually, no, I'm going to change that. I'm going to go 7-4. 7-4 Clutch Rain. And there's actually a reason for that, because I'm just remembering the score lines now. It's a 7-4 and 7-3. 7-4 and 7-3 against Join the Force in the relegations. They technically won that 2-0, but some of the rounds were actually pretty close. So, I'm gonna say that's probably gonna be a closer game. I think it's gonna be a 7-4 for Clutch Rain. I would like to see Red Falcons win, but I think it's gonna take a little bit longer for them. I think they might need a couple of play days to get warmed up, in my opinion.
All right. Yeah, I dare to say as well because, like, my thinking method is there are 4 Benelux players, which is good because we want to grow the Benelux scene as well with
Yeah.
the players itself. Um, but then going up against some French-speaking players, they probably have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge coming from the French scene as well. Not sure how strong they are. I dare to say they will go for a win, but I'd probably also go for a 7-4 just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
Uh, Clutch range should be the winner, but I would like to be surprised and be proven wrong because that's how my life goes.
What are you expecting map wise? Because I'd probably expect a villa.
Yeah, I think something that might play into a little bit of a fast play style. I think that would probably suit a more French-speaking team because they like
Yeah,
to probably
clutch.
go a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah. I remember with Red Falcons, one of the things I liked about them was the fact that they were actually, they felt pretty strong on their own clearance. For Villa, it was something that I used to compliment them on quite often was they usually did quite well, and it seemed like they knew the procedure, quite efficiently. I think a lot of teams do at this point for Villa. It's kind of lost its niche, if you will, but I think it's still good to highlight the fundamentals that we have seen with Red Falcons. Clutch Rain, on the other hand, from what I saw, I also remember they played during the qualifiers. I can't remember who it was. I think it was against Activity or 7am, one of the two. And they had played a Clubhouse bar stock successful defense. So that was...
That's crazy. Who even does that? I dare to say that Hap would buy your jersey if you win that. I've seen something on Twitter come by a few times.
Yeah, actually, I think he tweeted that, and then I remember Steen mentioned it. I believe Steen Power mentioned it on Twitter. He was like, "Does that also include the Benelux region?" Emojis. Alas, I don't believe it did.
He does. I think he fixed that now to actually also collaborate for that. But we'll have to see. Hap is always a tricky character. He does stick to his words. So if you do it, he will buy you shirts. So I think Gamma Gaming might be trying to go for that just to show that they don't have a web shop opened up. So that's gonna be the big brain from them. I think they'll just believe it in that way. That's something I would do personally, right? I think that's a big play.
Alright, Activity versus Game Fist. Talk about that. That's going to be a fun one.
That's going to be really hard to call. Just because I know more players and probably can imagine them playing well better, I possibly lean to Game Fist. They have a lot of experience with use, but I'm not sure with the new kid, of course, how much on top of his game he will be. Because it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to limit his game time big time. Also having a job, which sort of is necessary in life. That's going to be putting some strain on him. But they have some good coaching staff behind it. Of course, Activity as well has that. But I know from Game Fizz what they do have and how that will play into things. I dare to say they will be reading into Activity's playstyle really well. For me, Activity really needs to bank on Yuri popping off.
Yes.
If he actually gets to a good start, possibly get a double or a triple in the first round, I think they'll be golden. They'll be able to win. Because then it's going to just be a snowball for him. But if they get behind early, like 2-0 behind, possibly starting on the less favored side, they might be smacked around big time.
Yeah, I think that's the main factor is whether or not Yuri will be able to stay alive in the nicest way possible. Because if he's getting shut down very early on, I think that's going to put Activity in a bit of an unfavourable position. Game Fist, as you mentioned earlier on, they're a French team. And generally speaking, from what we have seen with a lot of French teams, well, they favour having that fast tempo, aggressive playstyle that really works in their favour when they're at a man count advantage. Activity, they start losing players, if they start getting their roams shut down very early on, that's going to put them in a bit of a disadvantageous position moving into the latter halves of the round. And my concern here would be, well, if they start losing players, I don't think they might. I think they might struggle to recover that. I'm gonna go with a Game Fist there, but a very, very big if. Yuri is able to stay alive and is able to pop off. If Yuri is popping off and he is winning his gunfights, you can be sure that the rest of their team is going to be feeling that, and they are going to be following suit. So I'm going to say it's going to be a much closer game. I think it's going to be what the second closest game of tomorrow will probably be Game Fist versus Activity. I'm going to say probably 7-5. 7-5, 7-6. No, you can't have 7-6. I think it'll either be a 7-5 or it'll be an overtime game. And I don't think it'll be an overtime game, but it could. And then let's talk about the last game here. This, in my opinion, is going to be the highlight of the night. 4 Elements, Gamma Gaming. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. Normally speaking, you'd say Gamma Gaming should easily be able to win this. 4 Elements will be playing without 2 of their main roster players. Doom and Vapor will be subbed out by B Saint and of course by Bar 2K. But we've seen B Saint play really well. So I dare to say that 4 Elements will put him in an aggressive spot. Have Bart possibly as a support next to Wishmaster, who's always on the smoke. Like, you can't put him on a different operator on defense. There's
What did you just say?
like that Wishmaster will always be on smoke on defense. Like, there's no other operator for him. Like, if they ban smoke, I think he'll be tilted.
I want them to do that just for that. It'd be fucking hilarious.
Like
Can
last
you
season,
get like player comms, like just midway through, and you just hear fucking, or during the operator bans, and you just hear them fucking raging. Oh, they banned my smoke. What the fuck?
Who does this?
Who does this? Fucking stun knob.
I think it's the only operator we've seen him play last season on defense. So it would be like the big turn up because he's really good at smoke. His survival rate through the roof. Like, he only comes into play if there's like 20 seconds left on the clock. And in Rainbow Six, that happens a lot.
I remember, also, maybe if we can actually show, can we please very, very, very kindly run the replays again for 4 Elements? Please.
Oh, so then you can actually see if Wishmaster plays smoke on defense. He was
playing on a Legion, I remember, in at least one of the rounds. And I want to look at this, because I'm interested in it as well. We've got plenty of time. This is one of the best. No, you're thinking the script, man! Come on! It's the wrong one!
That's a cone. I like cones. Do you like cones? Or do you like scones more?
I love scones. I actually had a scone today.
Oh?
Which was fucking amazing. It was glorious. I put some butter on it. It was great. Anyway, we're looking at this right now.
I don't think I've ever had a scone. Let's just Google scone.
You are missing out.
No, I've never had a scone.
Oh, they're so good. We need to get some.
Yeah.
Right, first off, you need to bring me over to the Benelux office, and I will cook some stuff. So there, we saw Wishmaster on smoke. There he is in the middle of the bomb site. He's getting absolutely fucking cooked. You know that meme of just like the girl sitting on a sofa surrounded by a bunch of like big scary guys?
Yeah.
That's basically Wishmaster. Outlined, polarized.
By the way, he's smoky and he's the only one died from 4 Elements. That's painful. But he held them off for the time being, and of course he's smoke again here.
There he is, playing smoke yet again.
I told you, like that's the thing he does. He's playing smoke, and it works.
Yep.
Like, he's a really, really good smoke that you can bank upon. He might not always be the most influential killer, but he'll always have that pressure. He'll always do what you need to have. He'll hold your flank if you want him to, and if you die, he'll just be there to revive.
Yeah, we actually just saw that in that exact clip there, was the fact that he was able to smoke off the plant, get a kill using the SMG-11, and he forced the IQ into an untenable position. Even though he didn't get that last kill, he directly influenced it using his gunplay. As we're seeing here with B Saint, he's been a player that has been popping off through some of the gunfights, and it wouldn't be a surprise if we see him again playing on some of these more aggressive roles like the Zofia, taking point in a lot of these gunfights, and providing his team with a boon, so to speak, going up against Gamma. But again, that's the crux of the issue. They're going to be playing against Gamma. Can you outfrag someone like Leonski? Well, yeah, just take him over towards Dart. That's fine, not a fucking problem. But I'm a little bit concerned that we don't know what Gamma are going to be playing like, because at least, from what we've seen with, how they played with Stunnab, it didn't feel like they were particularly weighed down. Stunnab did a pretty damn good job whilst playing. So if Phenomene is able to kind of follow that and is able to provide a similar performance, I think it's going to be very, very good for the side of Gamma.
Yeah, well, like I don't want to count 4 Elements out. Like they could do really well. They probably have a very good game plan for themselves already set. They have probably like a big notebook already filled with all the notes they want to have. And like the big thing for me, what they should do is try to turn down at least one key fragger. If they want to or are able to take down Deepak early on every time, I think that's gonna be a big tilt factor. They can put Phenomene in a weaker spot because one of his stable frontline man is gone. And then you can try to chip away to more. If they are able to do that, they have a chance. But the problem is, I'm scared that especially now with the analyst in the team playing, possibly also being able to take a little bit of a coaching role, that Gamma Gaming will just be able to counter that, try to change around a little bit too quickly. Like, they are very flexible because they are used to having a high level. But then for me, the question is, will Gamma Gaming actually be willing to show as many strategies as they have, which is always a little bit of that giveaway. Like, do you want to give them a chance to know everything? Do you want to give possibly Let's Rain, who might be a very good team, already that intel on a certain map?
Alright, come on, give us a scoreline. 4 timeouts, Gamma Gaming. What do you think?
I say 7-3 for Gamma Gaming. I dare to say that 4 Elements will have a chance to get some rounds in. It's just a question of when will they be blocked out? When will there be the punishment from Gamma Gaming? And how quickly will that punishment come? If it's just gonna be that Stormfest that could be happening, like 7-1, I wouldn't be too amazed by either. Like, it all depends on Deepak. And of course, now also Phenomene. How can he transition into the team? How can the team transition around him? Do they even care about him being there? Like, are they gonna leave any kills up for him? Because that's like, if I would play with a team instead of Phenomene right now, I'd be worried that I'd have to hunt for kills because the rest of the team will be hunting before me. Like, what kind of pace will they bring? I think they'll just go wild as animals at the start. And if that doesn't get punished, they'll just rock their world. 4 Elements will be torn to shreds. But if that's not the case, there's still a very good chance that 4 Elements will indeed get some rounds, possibly make it close. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe Wishmaster once brought it into a win in the league phase last season. And I believe that's the only match Gamma lost, but I'll have to fact check that.
Well, on the bright side, I'm sure we've got a metric fuck ton of analysts in the chat. I did see Eagle Maze all over on the chat, as well as also Hap, so potentially we've got some people in there that can give us the answer. But before they give us that answer, I just want another answer. Chat, who are you thinking is going to be winning that one out? 4 Elements, Gamma Gaming, give us a scoreline prediction in the chat, and we'll pick up a couple of answers and we'll talk about that. Now, we are going to go for a brief break in a second, told us much, just so we can get ourselves ready. We have got a game show lined on up. It did already kind of get spoiled a little bit, but you know what, we're just going to kind of wipe our memory of that one. We weren't even paying attention anyway to our production, so that's absolutely great. Yeah, so we are going to do a game show in a few minutes, which is going to be quite fun. If you are interested in taking part, please do. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this, so please, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun for that one. 7-1 scoreline from Lance, 7-4 to Gamma, says Schreikel. I'm not gonna make a prediction for this one, because I'm actually gonna leave it up to the players tomorrow to figure out basically who's gonna play. Now, if you are interested, pause and go for this quick break. We still have the giveaway running right now. If you want to take part in that, then all you need to do is type down in the chat what you think was the most played map during Benelux League Season 5 group stages. All you need to do is put the answer down in chat, just the one word for the different map. Let us know which one you think it is. Let us know. We'll be back in a few minutes with the game show, and then we'll round that up. See you soon. Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for potentially the last time here today. My name is Reza. I'm joined as always by Toldus Murph. Chandrick. Chandr. You. Toldus Murph.
Me.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. We're going to be kicking things off with the game show segment of our Shitty Wee podcast. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Welcome in. If this is your first time tuning in, well, congratulations. This is episode number 1, so I hope this is your first time coming in here. Normally we are running a bit of a pre-show on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, for the next couple of weeks, in advance of the main playday for the Rainbow Six Benelux League Season number 6. So, Toldusma is our wonderful wee guinea pig for today. We're testing things out to see basically how people enjoy it, how we like it. We've got the game show lined on up. We are going to be playing a game called Prop Hunt today. Toldusma, where essentially I've got around the map in some custom games to take some photos, some nice lovely screenshots of various obscure things in different maps. And it's going to be your job to figure out, well, basically which room or which map they are placed in. So the way this is going to work is that we will get a nice little screenshot up on the screen, just to our right, over there, where your face is, at some point, and then we'll figure that out. Yeah, right there. Perfect.
It's a beautiful place, you know.
Oh,
I'm ready. Like I've not gone over all the maps recently, but
okay.
I feel like mentally I'm ready.
Okay.
As ready as I've ever been.
So what I'm gonna ask is, you close the chat straight away.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Close the chat, okay? Because
Close
people in chat are gonna take part as well if you want. The way this is gonna work, we've got 10 screenshots lined on up, and well, there's a total of 20 points up for grabs right there. The way you can earn those points is, well, first off, if you get the right map. The second one is if you get the right room in said map. So you're looking anywhere between 10 to 20 points would be absolutely ideal. Probably 5 if you're, Anthox, because in the nicest way possible, he looks absolutely fucking headless whenever we're running around playing Siege. So, are you ready for this, Todsma? How are you feeling?
Oh yes, I'm really ready. I'm hyped. I'm ready, and I think I've really prepped big time. This is gonna be a piece of cake.
Can we start?
No.
I don't know where I was going with that. Let's just see if we can kick things off right now.
You're already applauding me. Okay.
Let's go. Okay, have a guess. What is this? What are you seeing here?
This is definitely border.
No shit.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a big brain, you know. That's the one point. Like, I have to say the map. Otherwise, you'll punish me. And then the position on that map, the room.
Yeah. What's the
I'm
room?
doubting. Yeah, I'm doubting. I believe it's... I dare to say it's close to the gate. Like the beep beep.
Oh yeah, beepers. Metal.
Yeah. Yeah, the metal detector next to that window thingy.
Okay.
So, is that officially still locker room? Or is it not officially still locker room? That's like the big question for me. Like, I know where Split is, so I'm already on that level. But that's Team Park. That's unfortunate.
It's the wrong map.
Yeah, I know. But that's like the one call out that's once gone viral.
Let me clarify. You need to figure out the room, not the specific call out.
Oh, okay.
But it's like the room of it, okay?
Alright.
Come on, have a guess.
And I think it's still locker room.
Okay.
And that's gonna be my final answer.
Okay. So, can we please show the answer here? It is, in fact, border. It's armory. It is armory lockers. So, armory lockers. You got it right. Let's go with that. You got armory lockers.
Because this is at the part where the lockers are, so that's why my brain is like, it's lockers.
It's kind of on the opposite end of where the lockers are, but you know what?
I don't care.
Let's go with that. 2 points. You got it. You got it right. Okay, you said the lockers. You knew what it was. You just fucked up slightly.
Yeah, it was close to
2
the beep
points.
beep.
Okay, let's go. Next question. Let's go.
Okay. Oh my god. I don't want to show the panic in my face, but I'm also in love by the statue.
I know, right? The gay panic. Oof.
If I just look at the style, like I've never seen this before, and I should have probably seen this before. Oh, I think it's Villa.
What makes you say villa?
I think those bricks are really giving me that villa vibe.
Okay.
Like it also has a little bit of Cafe Dostoevsky.
Ooh.
But I wouldn't know where on Cafe Dostoevsky it would be, so that's why I'm saying villa. But I wouldn't know where it would be on villa either.
Come on, like what? Okay, so whereabouts would you find a Tachanka statue on either villa or Cafe Dostoevsky?
Yeah, like that's the problem. I'm clueless. Like at the first one, I felt so confident, and now you've already ruined it for me.
I have that effect on people.
Like, oh my god, where would this be? I'm just trying to look around and like those cabinets. Like I'm trying to look for heads, man. I'm not looking for scenic views. Like
Come on, chat, get involved. What are we thinking here?
Yeah, I can't see the chat, so that's a bad thing. Like they're probably saying, "Oh my god, tell us." No. I'm gonna keep the chat away because I want to do this on my own and fail miserably.
Yes.
Like I couldn't imagine this being on Cafe because there's no statue on Cafe somewhere where I would imagine it to be. So I'm saying it's gonna be Villa. I'm just gonna go over all the maps in my head right now, and I can only think of 4 usually, so it's really bad.
Yeah.
But it has to be Villa, and oh god, what call-out should I give it? Where should it be?
It's your choice.
Yeah.
It's your
Holy
game.
moly.
It's your journey. Come on, I'm just here to prompt you along.
Where would it? It's not in statuary, that's for sure. It's not in astronomy. It's not in trophy.
What are we thinking here? Okay, it's so you're pretty confident it's Villa. Whereabouts would the statue be in Villa?
Yeah, I'd say statuary, but I know it's not there, right? No, it shouldn't be. Like I've never seen these cabinets there. It's terrible.
All right, come on, 30 seconds.
Ah.
Okay, Align, 5 seconds.
Oh
4,
god.
3, 2, 1. All right, give me your answer. Come on.
Living room. I don't know. It's just a random.
All right, let's show it. Come on. Show the answer. Could be
art
studio
studio
in Villa.
That makes so much sense.
It is literally called Art Studio. There is a little block of marble, and if you melee that, it's a block of marble on the desk right there. Just to the left is the door going over towards the main atrium and the main staircase. If you melee that block, it will reveal a little Easter egg.
I've literally never seen this in my life.
Alright, so you got 1 point there.
Yeah,
you got 1 point there. So I hope someone's keeping track, because I'm not. That's currently at
free.
3. Yeah.
Like, those bricks, that were the giveaway for me that it was Villa. Like, that's the only map I could imagine these red bricks to come in.
Alright, let's go. What's the next one? Let's go.
Whew. Okay, 3 points.
Ooh.
Okay, this is Clubhouse. That's what you instantly see. And I believe this is Church. Because I think... Yeah, because I think this is one of the default plant spots. Just behind that bar. I can't imagine this being upstairs because I don't believe there is a broom there. That's a weird thing. Like, oh yeah, there shouldn't be a broom there. Like, I think this is... It is definitely Clubhouse, and I think it is Church. This is going to be a quick one.
Okay, quick one. Let's go. Quick fire round. You are indeed correct. Church Clubhouse. It's right behind the bar. Alright, so that's 2 points for you, so you're currently sitting at 5. Next one, let's go. Speedrunner.
Oh god.
Oh, this is so kawaii.
Oh my god. No, this...
Come on. What are we seeing here, Batman?
It's a cat on a table.
No shit.
With a table underneath it. So that really grinds my gears. But is it a table or is it a footrest? I think it's a table because it's made out of wood. But
so
where
you
would
can't
you
have a
put that
footrest made of wood?
No, it's not that comfortable. Like, then you're just as well might put your feet on the table, right? Because it's also usually made sometimes out of glass. Never mind. Oh, okay, I'm messing with my brain. Are these all active map pool?
Yes,
maps?
they are all in the current normal map pool.
This makes it worse.
Yeah, it does.
It's like my brain would say.
So what kind of vibe are we getting from this place?
I would have said tower, but it's not tower because it can't be tower.
Why can't it be
skyscraper? Skyscraper.
Why can't it be skyscraper?
Because that's not in the map pool, right?
No, it's in the normal map pool.
Oh, is it? Oh!
Like, so it's all maps. That's what I
Okay.
mean. It's in every single
Oh,
map.
yeah. Yeah, then it's Skyscraper, definitely.
Okay. Have a
Um,
guess where in Skyscraper.
as if I ever learned those call-outs. Come on. Nah, I've
All right,
played
let
it.
me give you a tip. Let me
Okay.
give you a hint. What is the one call out that you think of when you think of me?
Casting couch. Because you have the black couch behind you.
All right, no, okay, time's up. Time's up. We're moving on.
Living
Let's
room.
get the answer up there. Nope, it's Geisha. It's Geisha and Skyscraper. Get 1 point for that one. You did get Skyscraper, but you didn't get Geisha.
All right.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's go.
Like it's. Oh yeah. Like, it's literally the same couch as you have, so it's not me. This is Oregon for sure, and I dare to say, just looking at the way this is set up, with the blocks and stuff, it's gonna be Kid Storms. I think it's the only right answer it could be. Because that's, I think, the only one where you have these kids' toys laying around.
Very nice. Let's go. Let's see it. Let's get the answer.
Boom, baby.
Kid Storms, Oregon. That's 2 more points for you. Well done. Let's go. Quick fire.
And at least I get these active map pool for the competitive pool ready, so I'm happy with that.
I mean, this is one of the things, like, you don't always kind of keep track of like, these different kind of sections of the map, because you're never looking around and going, oh, that's a nice little kind of
It's
toy.
like, I think,
toy.
where's, like, in this call, they'll always try to keep the kids in a certain area, and, like, this, I know there were blocks there, I know there were toys there, so it should be this room, because otherwise, all the cultist people will just get mad, because there's stuff everywhere, and they're tumbling, and how can they take themselves serious, blah, 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 blah.
Alright, I don't know what that noise was. Let's go, next one. Let's go. What are we thinking here?
It was a very good segue, that noise, because you were making the motor sound out of the motors that's outside of Clubhouse, which is the map we're looking into.
Naturally.
And I believe, oh my god, I'm doubting myself. I shouldn't doubt myself, but I'm doubting myself. For some reason, like, my first idea looking into this was that it was the motorcycle hatch drop, the room underneath there. I don't know why, but I'm starting to doubt myself. But I've never looked around there, especially.
Why are you doubting that?
I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna go for it. The room underneath motorcycle hatch.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with that. Now, I'm actually going to give you this. If we can open it up. Technically, it is not called motor. But I think that is a bullshit answer, so I'm going to give you motor, because that's what everyone calls it, because that's fucking normal.
It's like, that's what I always hear, so that's the only thing I know. Like,
motor. We call it motor
calling it a ranked
memorial. Yeah. So, we'll give you that one. I think motor is the standard call-out for so many people. It's moto's right. Whew. So let's go two for that. 2 points for that one. Let's go for the next one.
Alright. Oh, it's another guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is the reworked house.
What makes you say that?
I think it's just the style with the white bricks.
Okay.
Makes me feel like that might be, and the window as well. But I wouldn't know the room, so I'm just gonna go with the living room where you have that TV as well. Because I believe that's a little bit cluttered, and why wouldn't you want to have a guitar in your living room?
So what kind of stuff do you see in this room?
A guitar and some stage boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Flight cases, I have to say, because otherwise people will get mad at me. So
whereabouts would you kind of have these kinds of things?
Oh, in your music room? In your studio, maybe? Studio? Studio in-house?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Sounds good enough.
It does sound pretty good. Let's go. But it's wrong,
Music?
because there's actually the music room.
I said it before.
Close!
Yeah, it's stupid.
But no cigar. Okay. Alright, so you got a house. So that's 1 point. You got it right for house. It was the house rework. The other side is the games room, and then you've got, like, the living room on the right-hand side. So anyway, let's go for the next one. It's pretty close. That's kind of a tough one. Oh. Hey, look, it's your only fan.
Oh, God. I remember this fan. It's my favorite. an only
Aw.
fan. Oh God.
What are we
Oh, this
thinking,
is hard.
chat?
It has to be a CCTV room somewhere.
Hmm. What makes you
Right.
say that?
Because there's TVs and there's always a few TVs stacked on top of each other in rooms that's called security or CCTV.
Okay.
It can't be Clubhouse, or it can't be Border. I mean, can't be Clubhouse either. Oh God, it's not Oregon because that has more wood walls, I believe. Or is it Oregon? No, it's not Oregon. Oh wait, it might actually be. No. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Clubhouse and a CCTV. That's just gonna be it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna mess my brain.
What are we thinking? Final
Yeah,
answer?
Clubhouse, CCTV.
Okay. Let's reveal the answer.
Console.
You
Oh
had
no.
you had the right idea. Security. CCTV room? It's not called that. It's a
Yeah.
security room, so technically you got both of them wrong. Unfortunately. Let's go on to the next one. Yeah.
I've never been in this room. Okay. Oh, this is the map I hate most. It's terrible. It's of course going to be Chalet. Like that dumpster is the trash where the map now. But what's the call out here?
What's the call out here?
Yeah, this is this room with the snowmobile where you always start to defend. I'm not sure.
Called?
I think it's called snowmobile. I think that's the actual call out because you have a different garage where there's actually cars in, and I always get killed. So I'm just gonna go with Chalet and snowmobile.
Okay, let's go. Show the answer.
Boom.
Snowmobile Garage and Chalet. This bomb site is called Snowmobile Garage and Wine Cellar. Wine Cellar being the back room, and then you've technically got two garages. This is small garage, Snowmobile Garage, and then you've got the other one, which is the big garage. That's one at the far end.
That's where I die. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really know if you can just clarify you dying to one room because you die in a lot of rooms. But anyway, two answers there, two answers right. Snowmobile, Chalet. I like that. Let's go. Next one. I think this is the last one.
Oh my god.
We can confirm that.
I think this is also Chalet because if you look at the bricks, it's the same style. Okay. And there's boxes. That's what I'm seeing.
No
but where
shit.
would these boxes be?
Your analytical insight is superb as always. There's boxes.
It's the caster lifestyle, you know. It's the caster
lifestyle. Can you believe that? Ladies and gentlemen.
There's also a rug.
Fucking Inspector Cluedo over here.
Yeah.
I don't want to play Among Us with you.
I'd have to say that there's also something wrong with these boxes because someone is pointing a gun at them, so they probably pissed off somebody. They're fragile. I'd go for Chalet again. And then decide. It's just gonna be a random guess. Where would you have glasses? Because there's glasses in there. It's gonna be somewhere in wine cellar.
Final answer?
That's where they sometimes drink, so that's gonna be my final answer.
Okay. Let's see what it is. It's gonna be Trench and Chalet. It's technically also the basement hallway, but that's just such a generic ass call. This would generally be referred to as like red or kind of trench because obviously it's like inside of the like the elbow in that hallway. So I think that may have been the last one. We'll find out by our wonderful producer at some point. That is the last one. Okay, well done. Let's go back to our faces in that case, and we can tally that up. I'm hoping somebody kept count, because I kind of forgot after 3 points. Look at that face.
Yeah, I'm trying to be ready for the count.
20 right there.
14 out of 20?
14 out of 20.
That's a good one.
I think that's pretty good.
That's a 7 out of 10.
It is. It is. So, have we gone back to our faces here fully? I don't know.
No. Why would we? Oh, there we are.
There we are. Welcome back. Look at you. So quiet. Alright, so 14 out of 20.
I I'm happy with myself, especially because there were some maps that I just don't play, like House. I wouldn't know.
Okay.
Skyscraper, I had no clue. Absolutely,
Hmm.
like I've played there, and every time I hated it because I just don't know the callouts and I don't know the map layout really
That's
well.
fair.
Like I know, I always know one path per map, and I always try to stick to it. And if they're on a different side, mine completely does. I just look for stairs. If I find the stairs, it's good. So I've lost some points there. The consulate one, yeah, it just completely caught me off guard, man. I had no clue. I just still can't really imagine where that place is on the map. I'm really having to
Mhm.
figure it out. I think it's downstairs somewhere. Oh, now I have a clue.
Yes.
Yeah,
The consulate one, that is security, and it is next to the cafeteria
yeah.
downstairs. It's basically the one in between garage and also the locker hallway. So it's that's a nice little one. It's got like a nice little rack of kind of TVs and stuff. So what I'm going to say, by the way, if anyone is interested right now, we are still running a giveaway. I think we're going to be doing that for another couple of minutes. We are still running a giveaway in collaboration with Rainbow Six Benelux to give away 1,200 R6 credits. If you want to take part in this, well, it's relatively simple. All you need to do is let us know in chat the answer to this question. What do you think was the most played map in Benelux League Season 5 during the group stages? Let us know in the chat. Just type down the word of the map and let us know about that. We'll be probably wrapping that up, and we'll be picking a winner in the next 5 minutes. What we're going to do is all of the right winners will get put into a list, and then it will randomly pick a one of those winners, who will then receive 1,200 R6 credits, graciously supported by Rainbow Six Panel. So again, thank you very much to Manon for sorting that out. Tolizma, we're looking at this right now. We've had a fantastic evening so far. Thank you so much for taking part and hanging about for so long. We're looking over towards tomorrow, obviously being the very first playday of Benelux League Season 6. Do you have any words for anyone kind of coming into this and, you know, maybe they want to get a little bit more involved in the Benelux community? Where can people, you know, find you? On social media? Like, whereabouts are you?
Well, of course, you can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Toldesma, because I'm a basic bitch. I only have one single tag, which is easy for branding. I also have golf balls. You have one, I believe.
I do indeed. I've
Yeah,
got.
like that's the big play. I also have one just on the side. My father has one as well with his face on it, so we're cool like that.
What does your dad have? Can we please full screen this? Can we please full screen this? Look, it's his face. Can we put this next to his face? Is that possible?
I'll
Ignore the
try
fact
to
that my-
look seductively.
Oh god, that's terrifying. Please don't. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Anyway, that's his face. It's great. I love it. So what do you have?
Well, I would also imagine that people like wanting to get more into the Benelux as well and try to
Yep.
chat and play with people. I can always, of course, follow Rainbow Six BNL on Twitter and make sure to join our Discord as well, because there's like a ton of people there. You can always try to actively chat about. There's a viewing room for the Benelux League coming up. You can always try to join people there and make sure that you're into all the action. Maybe discuss, maybe learn from other people. I could imagine Lance, when he's not playing, possibly hanging out there because he's a cool guy. But then he's also having to fix all the Wikipedia stuff because we're lazy and he actually knows how to do stuff like that.
It's always important to keep those people that know how to actually run Wikipedia close, because otherwise it would be absolute chaos and bedlam coming up to any playday. Wikipedia is a fucking lifesaver. So yeah, we do have the very first playday of Benelux League Season 6 coming up tomorrow, I believe, probably from about 1900 CEST. I'm sure someone can confirm or deny that in the chat, because, well, fortunately, I'm not going to have to organize that chaos. Instead, that's going to be you, because you're casting that alongside Anthox. And that is going to be a blast. It's going to be in Dutch, so if you are, you know, a native Dutch speaker, That is going to be absolutely excellent and superb. I believe I'll probably end up being in the watch party. I've been hanging out there a couple of times with Miss Marie and a couple of the other Benelux folk, and it's always great. I think it's a great atmosphere, and it's a great way to get to know a couple more people and to learn a little bit more, not only about the game, but about the community as a whole. So do you have any final words that you'd like to say whilst we kind of wrap things up here?
I think everyone being in the chat, and of course all the people that have been actively involved in the Benelux scene, of course our production crew, everyone behind that, such as Manon, Milan, who's now at Red Bull, we have Entux, who's always been like the people I can rely on, have being there, Stefan always being in love, and of course a beauty to behold with all my eyes, which I can just not get away from him. Erwin always being our producer in time of need, and when we don't need him and try to flame him a little bit, it's also a little bit part of the gig. And of course all the people in the community trying to still be active even if they don't play. For instance, Marie, who's been now also more active as a streamer, and I hope she will not be as harassed as she is now, or at least not harassed at all, because it's really getting out of hand. So I'm just hoping for people to be kind to other and give the joy and love that you also want to return yourself.
I gotta add on to that. It is fucking embarrassing to see how some people will attack and abuse other people based on their race, their gender, their ethnicity. I think Miss Marie is a solid example of someone that has consistently tried their best to provide a positive influence within the community, and it's a shame to see some people that are abusive and misogynistic towards her, simply based on the fact that she wants to be treated just as the same as anyone else. I think it's fucking shameful. You know what? It's been a pleasure to see her getting involved within the Siege Guardians and the Siege Champions, if you will, in the little program that they've got running out there. Content creators always very welcome with that. So you know what? I think what I'm gonna do, I think we are gonna look at quickly running this now. So I'm gonna run this giveaway right now. We've got about 20 people that did get the correct answer. I'm gonna give you another 60 seconds to get your name down in the thing right now. If you want to take part, all you need to do, answer this question here. What was the most played map during Benelux League Season 5 group stages? If you want to get involved and win, potentially here, then all you need to do is put the map name in the chat. Just one word right there. Let's see if you can potentially walk away with 1200 R6 credits. Give people a second or two just to try and get as many people in that as possible. I love this. I love the idea that we're able to run like these little giveaways. Again, kindly sponsored by Rainbow Six Benelux and Ubisoft Netherlands. It is so nice to be able to just run like these small little kind of giveaways for people, and it's nice to see a little bit more incentive to kind of get involved, right? I think it's always good to see a little bit more reason to get involved, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's happy to see, like, also Rainbow Six Benelux giving you some things to dish out to people, and of course people trying to interact and see if they can get a little bit richer with the points as well, because it's just a battle pass away, it seems, with those points in.
Yeah. Alright, let's roll this and hope that I don't screw it up. And it's gonna be Zazu.
Ooh! I don't know who Zazu is. Oh no,
Zazu,
I actually know.
Zazu is the wonderful tournament organizer and admin working over at Team Meta, so well done. That's great. I love that. That's honestly fucking hilarious that it's Zazu. I love that. Out of everyone it could have been, I'm happy about that. So one of the things I love about this is every single time that you run a giveaway, someone is gonna look at that and say, that's fucking rigged. So I'm just gonna ask for the confirmation. Are we gonna re-roll that, or are we gonna keep that?
I actually had a call with Sasu today, so
Let's find out.
I feel inspired already.
If our producer can let us know if we're gonna re-roll that. I honestly don't know if we are or not. I think we're just gonna find out.
Yeah, it's just gonna
We're
be
gonna re-roll that, and that's not because I don't love her and the work that she's doing. It's because, for the love of God, I don't want to get called out for rigged. So we're gonna.
rigged.
It's not rigged, I promise. All right, so we are gonna re-roll it, and it's night.
Nightbot.
All right.
Laser, step up your game, man. Come on. How does Nightbot actually win this?
I'm gonna try again. Oh, fuck me! How? Oh, I know how. I know how. I know how.
Okay, tell me.
You're gonna love this. I'm gonna screen share.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna screen share to Discord, and I'm gonna hope that our producer is gonna be able to...
You can't see what you screen share to Discord.
Okay, so basically what's happened here has been that everyone that should be eligible is listed as ineligible, and everyone that is ineligible is listed as being eligible.
Oh no. Praise.
Yep. So I'm gonna I'm gonna see if I can try and fix this now.
I love how you started this giveaway drawing like, oh well, I hope I don't mess this up, and then, oh no, I just completely bugged up, didn't I? And just didn't like it's very stereotypical British accent, even though you're Scottish. I know.
Like, just, you know what the best thing is? On the bright side, this is some quality content, right?
Oh yes, yes.
All right, let's try this again.
All right, you can do this.
Fuck, there's no eligible users to win the giveaway.
Ah, you messed up now, didn't you?
It's okay. It's okay. We're still working on this. It's okay.
It's okay.
On the bright side, I think this is going to show that there is a lot of potential for the future. Which I think is great. Alright. Let's try this again, and I'm hoping to God that Nightbot isn't gonna get picked. Hey! It's Rednax! Finally, it's not one of the fucking producers, or admins, or a fucking Nightbot.
Hey, it's not my bad. Don't look at me, honey.
Hey, that's okay. Took a little bit of time, but that's fine. I think what we have learnt from this is that I think in the future I'm not going to be allowed to organize this, but that is...
It's going to be a producer's job.
This is why we get people in that actually know how to produce, because I don't. I organize chaos.
Yeah.
That is my thing. I am pretty good at that. And I'm happy with that. So yeah, well done to Rednax46 for getting that. You are going to be getting 1,200 R6 credits. You can, I don't know, buy something very nice on that. Maybe, you know, another Ash Elite. Let's go with your Stera Soil. You're welcome.
Oh, well, like, yeah. I'm happy Rednex now has those credits. Like,
yeah.
I think he's going to make it rain.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm hoping he'll get some crazy skins. Because there are some good esports skins as you saw on the ads. Still out.
There has. I love that. You know what? We are going to be ending it here because honestly that's been enough chaos for today. You know what? It's been an absolute blast. I have absolutely loved running this today. Thank you so much to all those more for taking part. We are going to be doing this again next week, next Tuesday, probably from about 1900 CEST. If you're interested in watching again, I would greatly appreciate it, because at the end of the day, we're all doing this as a bit of a project in collaboration, as I mentioned a couple of times, with Rainbow Six Benelux. The more people that are watching, the better. It makes us look better. It makes us look like we actually know what we're doing. But also, it gives us an opportunity to provide a little bit more content towards the community. And at the end of the day, I think that's the biggest, most important aspect of it. We can't do this without the support of the people in chat, and vice versa. We hope that you guys are enjoying this. So thank you so much for taking part, staying around and hanging out for as long as you have done. I hope everyone's enjoying the play days coming up, especially tomorrow. You will be able to see Toldesmar and Anthox casting out for a wee while. I'm very much looking forward to that and seeing basically how you guys get on for that. We'll be back again next Tuesday, 1900 CEST. If you want to check me out on social media, at FraserR6S. If you want to check out Toldesmar, at Toldesmar. on social media, and also can consider checking out our at Rainbow Six Benelux for more updates and content in the future. So other than that, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful night, and see you next time.